Chapter 421, Unforgivable. You should have said it sooner, huh? Vice Chairman made a mistake, meow. Even though he had a solution, he spoke too late, and Theo had to endure the punishment of having his cheeks stretched by Sejun like Chapsaltiok. Thanks to this, Sejun was able to both punish and heal simultaneously. Vice Chairman Theo, so what's pulling you? Theo pointed to his bag when asked what was pulling him. It's this, meow. Theo pointed to his bag again. Yeah, I know it's in the bag, so what's exactly pulling you inside it? Meow, it's not inside the bag, meow. It's the bag itself, meow. Huh? What does that mean? While Sejun was puzzled. Try holding this, meow. What? Theo handed his bag to Loon, who hesitantly put his hand on it. The moment Loon placed his hand on the bag, he felt a slight tingly coolness flowing through his fingertips, and his head became clear and refreshed. Simultaneously, something emerged in his mind. I think I know who I am. Though it wasn't clear enough to explain in words, and everything felt hazy, Loon could grasp one characteristic of his true form. I had dark brown fur. SSSSH. What? Sejun noticed Loon's fur, which had turned into a blue-furred baboon, changing to a black sugar color. What's going on? Sejun knew it was because of Theo's bag, but was it a good thing? While Sejun was watching Loon. Thank you so much. Thanks to you, I now know that my original fur color was brown. Loon smiled brightly and expressed his gratitude to Sejun and Theo. He was happy just to know his fur color. But, meow. Watching Loon, Theo was deeply disappointed. Even though the person was happy, why? I can't get his stamp, meow. Because Loon hadn't returned to his true form. Our determined Vice Chairman Theo still couldn't give up on the idea of making Loon a slave by getting his handprint. So when Loon, who had thanked them, removed his hand from the bag. SSSSH. Loon's fur quickly returned to its original blue color. Huh? Loon knew his fur was brown in his mind, but it wasn't on his body, an odd experience. It was like knowing how to walk but not having legs. Loon was disappointed by the vague sense of loss. While both Theo and Loon were disappointed for different reasons. What made Loon change? Sejun carefully reviewed the description of Theo's bag, the bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers. The ability to move to another tower wouldn't matter. Sejun thought for a moment. Then is it the ingredients? He reviewed the 5 materials used to make Theo's bag. The Great Black Dragon's Scale, a branch of the World Tree, Red Bone Club, the Staff of Disaster, and the Phoenix's Tail Feather. One of these might have caused Loon's color change. It probably isn't the Great Black Dragon's Scale. If it were, Kaiser would have smugly handed it over right away. Red Bone Club, the Staff of Disaster, and the Phoenix's Tail Feather wouldn't have much to do with finding Loon's appearance. Then is it the branch of the World Tree? What, a branch of the World Tree? Is this bag made from the World Tree's branch? Do you know where the World Tree is? Excited by Sejun's muttering, Loon bombarded him with questions. Before Loon was captured here, the key ingredient in the potion recipe he developed to return to his true form was the branch of the World Tree. The tremendous restorative power possessed by the World Tree's branch. Loon thought it would help him find his true appearance. It was indeed thanks to the branch of the World Tree that Theo's bag had changed Loon's fur color earlier. World Tree, of course I know it's right there. Sejun pointed to Pottery, who was the World Tree. What, that's just a grapevine, isn't it? Loon said, looking bewildered as he saw where Sejun pointed. Yeah, it's a grapevine and also the World Tree. What? Loon was shocked at Sejun's words. The 10-volume encyclopedia on the World Tree he had read clearly stated that raising a World Tree was extremely difficult. The World Tree was very sensitive, requiring attention to soil, water, air, and sunlight, and its temperament was said to be very finicky. Thus, obtaining its fruit was considered impossible. But the grapevine before his eyes was laden with bountiful grapes. It was growing well. It didn't seem picky at all. Typically, world trees have a temperament even more finicky than described in books. Pottery wanted to act difficult with Sejun too, but with Flamey watching with a fiery gaze, it didn't dare to show any attitude. And Sparky, having grown up under Flamey's care since childhood, grew into a world tree that knew nothing of complaints. Of course, Sausage was soon to grow up the same way. While Loon was confused by the discrepancy between the world tree he learned about in books and the reality before him. I'm going to take a few branches. Yes, of course. Sejun approached Pottery and cut a few branches. And a world tree gives its branches that easily. Loon was once again astonished. In the World Tree Encyclopedia, the section on obtaining branches alone spanned nearly 3 volumes. The book stated that to obtain a branch from the world tree, you had to cater to its whims for about 10 years to become friendly, and then, with about 20 years of sincere dedication, you might get a chance to obtain a branch. But Sejun cut the branches too easily, 5 of them no less. There were only 2 possibilities. The book was wrong, or the Sejun before him had an incredibly close relationship with the world tree. Of course, the book couldn't be wrong. The World Tree Encyclopedia was written by the great sage Wikis. So the remaining conclusion was 1. Sejun must have built a relationship with the world tree over hundreds of years. While Loon was looking at Sejun with admiration. Pottery, thank you. You're welcome, bye. Meanwhile, Sejun, having cut 5 branches from Pottery, thanked it and returned. However, Loon's admiring gaze cooled down when he heard the world tree's name. Did he name the world tree Pottery just because it was a grapevine? It was because of Sejun's numbing sense. Loon couldn't have imagined at that moment that he would be the next victim. Here, hold this. Sejun handed one of Pottery's branches to Loon. Yes. Loon cautiously took the branch. Then, this time, the tingly cool sensation from the world tree's branch was so strong it almost numbed his fingertips. The power of the freshly cut world tree branch was vastly different from the branch that had lost much of its nature when it became part of the bag. A clear image of his true form emerged in Loon's mind. Squirm! Loon's form began to transform into the image in his mind. Loon's body gradually shrank, and he turned into a small, palm-sized brown hamster. Loon was originally a hamster, the same species as Yona. How? Despite transforming thousands of times, he had never found his true form. While Loon held the world tree's branch tightly with his right hand and felt his body with his left hand in amazement. Pew hut, as expected, Chairman Park is great, meow. There was one more being who was deeply moved. I can't miss this chance Chairman Park gave me, meow. Theo hurriedly took out a contract. Sejun, thank you. Thanks to you I found my true form. I'll never forget this favor. I will serve you for the rest of my life. Pew hut, then stamp it, meow. Stamp. He got Loon's handprint while he was thanking Sejun. I did it, meow. With a satisfied look, Theo gazed at the contract. You have acquired 1 slave. All stats increase by 0.01 due to the effect of the title, Slave King. Thanks to this, Sejun's stats also increased. A moment later. Pew hut, Loon, what are you good at, meow? Tell us quickly, meow. Theo asked Loon, who was standing in front of Sejun. I'm good at stealing, escaping, and infiltrating. In response to Theo's question, Loon answered earnestly, gripping the branch of the world tree with both hands as if he were an applicant in a job interview. Loon thought he had to prove his worth here to continue holding onto the branch of the world tree. Of course, Sejun had no such intention, but for Loon, who had lived alone in a harsh world, it was only natural. A fitting answer from Loon, the faceless thief. However, no one showed any interest in Loon's answer. This is bad. I also know a lot about transformation magic and can write in 100 different scripts, and I can make simple magical equipment too. Panicking, Loon started to hurriedly list anything he could do, hoping something would catch their interest. And then, oh, you can make magical equipment too. Yes, I made these as well. As Sejun showed interest in magical equipment, Loon quickly took out the equipment he had made from his vest to show them. However, is this all you've got? None of the magical equipment Loon had made caught Sejun's interest. Most of it was gear for escaping from locked rooms. Can't you make something like super strong healing magic equipment, super strong defense magic equipment, or equipment that can withstand super strong energy? If I could make such things, I wouldn't have been caught by Sejunim. My magical skills are lacking. Loon swallowed the retort that was on the tip of his tongue and answered rationally. Well, it's all right. You can improve your magical skills from now on. Iona will teach you well. Sejun planned to send Loon to Iona. What? You don't mean Iona, who is the chairman of the Wizards Association, Ionanim? Yes, that's right. I don't think this is going to be all right. While Loon was flustered by the sudden news that he would be learning magic from Iona. Now there's something really important left. Everyone listen up. Sejun spoke with a serious expression. Speak meow. Kyung. Kyungi will listen well. Kihit kayang kayang. He good, wise Blackie will make the judge. Blackie, forgetting that Theo and Kyungi were present, spoke arrogantly but quickly changed it to respectable language at the end, noticing their eyes. TL. It might not make much sense in English, but Blackie switched from speaking informally to formally to show more respect. As everyone's attention focused on Sejun. Since Loon has found his true form, we need to give him a name that suits that form, don't we? I've thought of a few names, so tell me which one you like. Sejun got to the main point. Loon was a name for the criminal. Now that he had found his new form, he needed a new name. Thus, Sejun's naming shop opened. Blaxial Blackding Blackham Blackster, choose one of these. Sejun, inspired by the brown sugar hamster, came up with 4 names. TL note, before reading further, let me explain a bit about the names and how Sejun came up with them, i.e., how they are inspired by brown sugar hamster. The Korean Hangul for brown sugar is Kohutsut Enus, which when romanized will be Hyuxioltang. The first part Kohu Enus, if translated individually, means black. What Sejun has done is to keep the black part constant and combine it with other parts like the first name Blaxiol Kohutsa Enus, which is basically Kohu Enus black plus Kosun Enus, Sial, the first 2 characters from Kohutsut Enus brown sugar hamster. The second name Blackdeng Kohuktung Enus, which similarly is Kohu Enus black plus Kotung Enus tang, so the first and last character from Kohutsut Enus brown sugar hamster. The third name Blackham Kohukhem Enus, where Sejun has taken Kohu Enus black from Kohutsut Enus brown sugar hamster and combined it with ham of hamster. In the last name, as you can guess by now, Kohu Enus black from Kohutsut Enus brown sugar hamster and stir from hamster, making it Blackster, Kohuksutha Enus. Puhuhut, Chairman Park, which one do you like, meow? Actually, I like Blackster. Puhuhut, then I vote for Blackster too, meow. In response to Sejun's answer, Theo quickly raised his paw and shouted. It was natural since Sejun was the best namer Theo knew in the Black Tower. I think the name Loon is still fine. Loon hurriedly tried to express his opinion, but Kyung. Then Kyungi votes for Blackster too. His voice was drowned out by Kyungi's shout. Naturally, the best namer Kyungi knew was also Sejun. All right, that's more than half the votes. Blackster it is. Blackster, let's do well from now on. When Sejun extended his pinky finger to Blackster. Okay. Loon, now renamed Blackster, grabbed Sejun's pinky with both hands, wearing a gloomy expression. Meanwhile, he looked at Blackie with pleading eyes, seeking help. Please say something. Seeing that Blackie hadn't cast a vote, Blackster thought Blackie agreed with him about Sejun's poor naming skills. However, thump thump. Kaying kaying. Blackster, I can't forgive you. Your name is cooler than my name, Blackie. Blackie was stomping the ground with his front paws in frustration. Chapter 422. Our sausage is working hard. Texas, USA. Kika. Currently, more than half of Texas has been occupied by the flesh eaters. The movement of the flesh eaters started changing strangely 2 days ago. The flesh eaters, who were trying to cross the Mexican border, suddenly changed direction and began attacking the cities of Texas again. Around the same time, giant leeches that had spread around the world began gathering in Texas. It was because of Michael, who received control over Earth's calamities from Halphas. Michael had the giant leeches attack a feed factory that placed an order for the growth accelerator production, sending half of them to Texas. And the flesh eaters, who absorbed the growth accelerator transported by the giant leeches, were rapidly increasing in number. White House, USA. As you can see from the video, the growth of the flesh eaters has accelerated significantly, and their numbers are increasing rapidly. The Chief of Staff of the Army reported to the President while showing him a live satellite video. The video was full of flesh eaters covering the ground. How much faster has it gotten? It originally took 15 days for them to grow to maturity, but according to experts, at the current rate, they will mature in 3 days. So it's almost 5 times faster. Yes, and there is additional reporting on the mutant entities. Mutant entities. When the President made a confused expression. Yes, these are the entities that were reported during the Houston evacuation operation. The Secretary of Defense quickly showed a tablet displaying a monster with a cherry tomato head and human-like arms and legs. Ah, I remember now. Continue the explanation. Yes, I'll continue. We have found out where these mutant entities are being bred. Produced, not just growing. Until now, the flesh eaters were thought to grow like seeds. The term breeding didn't fit. Yes, please watch this. The Chief of Staff showed another video. A video running at 20 times the normal speed. In the video, there was a much larger flesh eater than the others, almost 30 meters in size. As time passed, the cherry tomato head split open and bloomed into a giant flower. And from the mouth in the center of the flower, something could be seen crawling out. A group of mutants. Yes, those mutant entities are hunting and supplying nutrients to the mother body. Are there many of those? According to our current analysis, one such mother body appears for every 1 million flesh eaters. Dealing with just the flesh eaters is already tough, and now this. The President's face grew even darker upon receiving the report. So what's the plan? How are we going to deal with them? Mr. President, we request permission to use nuclear missiles. The Secretary of Defense spoke up in response to the President's question. Since the high heat could cause damage, using nuclear missiles could eliminate many of them. Nuclear missiles, no matter what that's. The President hesitated at the mention of nuclear weapons. It was natural to hesitate. It was the right thing to do. To use nukes, and on U.S. soil at that. Even with a clear reason and justification, it was a decision that required careful consideration. If we rely on hunters and the military to stop the flesh eaters, the damage will be too great. Moreover, given their current position, they are gradually moving eastward. Texas was already mostly destroyed by the flesh eaters, so using nuclear missiles would not cause much more damage. As time passed, the number of flesh eaters would increase, resulting in greater damage. The Secretary of Defense passionately argued the reasons and justification for using nuclear missiles, trying to persuade the President. All right, I grant permission, but evacuation of the people living in Texas must be completed first. The President finally spoke after contemplating for a long time. Yes, of course. We will complete the evacuation of all citizens in Texas within 100 hours. As soon as the President's permission was granted, the U.S. military immediately began the evacuation operation for the people of Texas. Time remaining until the launch of the nuclear missile, 100 hours. So this is Korea. Michael had arrived at Gimpo Airport aboard a private jet to destroy the safe zone in Korea. He was carrying a cargo hold full of flesh-eater seeds. The only place on Earth with a safe zone. To completely conquer Earth, destroying the safe zone was the priority. Chairman, we will move the cargo to the designated location. Go ahead. For this mission, he had summoned half of the giant leeches on Earth to the East Sea. The moment the safe zone disappears, the giant leeches will enter Korea and supply growth accelerators to the flesh-eater seeds. Kekek, then this small country will collapse in no time. And then they would immediately move to the continent to bring down China. Once the two most powerful nations on Earth, the United States and China, fell, everything else would be easy. A little later. Here it is. Thud. Michael arrived at the Black Tower on the very outskirts of the safe zone in Seoul and placed his hand on the tower. Then, disappear. As he infused the power of destruction into the tower, the Black Tower began to vanish. 75th floor of the Black Tower. All right, I will manage the faceless thief loon from now on. Understood. I will acknowledge that the compensation for damages owed by the faceless thief loon will henceforth be paid by the Wizard Association. Yes. Having received the agreement of the chairman of the Wandering Merchants Association, Mason, and the chairman of the Freelance Mercenaries Association, Hannibal, Iona was delighted. Kaiwat, now my work will decrease. Imagining Loon diligently writing reports on her behalf, Iona cheerfully headed towards the 99th floor of the tower. When she arrived on the 99th floor, the members of the 99th floor were still the same. Theo was dozing off on Sejun's lap, Kyungi and Blackie were sleeping against Sejun's butt, and then, Kaiwat, a hamster. Iona spotted a brown hamster holding a twig in one hand and eagerly accepting peanuts from Sejun. Kaiwo. How dare it to my park Theonym? Iona approached Blackster, drawing up her magical power. To think my name is Blackster. Blackster, having received a new name from Sejun, was filled with self-loathing. Crunch. Tasty. But eating these peanuts made him feel a little better. Then, Suddenly, Blackster felt a ferocious aura enveloping him, making him shudder. What is this? I'm scared. Blackster hurriedly shoved the peanut into his mouth and dug into the ground under Sejun's leg to hide. His swift movement was fitting for a thief. Who is it? Peeking out from under Sejun's leg, Blackster searched for the source of the menacing aura. And then, Kaiwo. He saw a pure white hamster, radiating a fierce aura approaching him. The great wizard of destruction, Iona. Wait, she's at the 5th stage of angry Kaiwo. Why is she like this towards me? Recognizing Iona, Blackster trembled with fear. Puhut, Iona, you're here, meow. Theo, who had been dozing, woke up and greeted Iona. Kaiwo, yes, but Theonym, who is that hamster? Though Theo's greeting had calmed her anger considerably, Iona still asked angrily. Oh, that's Blackster, and by the way, he's a male. Understanding why Iona was angry, Sejun quickly cleared up the misunderstanding. Despite not being able to handle his own love life, Sejun was exceptionally perceptive in these situations. Kaiwat, I see. He's a male. Iona smiled brightly at Sejun's words and nestled into Theo's tail. Then, Sejun Nim, here is the bounty for the faceless thief loon. Iona handed Sejun the bounty she had received. Thanks. By the way, how much is the bounty? Sejun asked as he received the pouch with a bright smile. 750 billion tower coins. That's really a lot. Yes, he stole quite a lot. Sejun Nim, I want to hire Loon. I don't know if you're aware, the faceless thief Loon. Originally, Loon was supposed to repay the compensation and rot in prison for 100 years. However, she eagerly explained that if she hired Loon, he could work off the compensation for damages, and that the other associations had agreed to overlook it. All right, go ahead. I was actually thinking of sending him to Yona to learn magic. Really, I'll teach him well. Yona's face brightened at Sejun's response, as she had planned to personally train Loon for a few months to improve his magic skills. Blackster, go with Yona and learn a lot, okay? Yes, I will do my best. Perhaps because he was in front of Yona, Blackster responded in a tense voice. What, Blackster? She had asked to hire Loon, but suddenly it was Blackster. When Iona looked confused. Loon is Blackster, meow. Chairman Park gave Loon his new name, meow. Theo explained Loon's situation to Iona. Kaiwat, I see, it's a great name. Iona praised Sejun's nomming skills. Hang in there. And looked at her fellow victim of Sejun's, nomming with a sympathetic expression. Then please leave Blackster to me, I'll teach him well. I'll be going now. With that, Blackster, holding the world tree branch tightly, said goodbye to Sejun and left with Iona. Now it's time to get to work. Sejun approached the sausage tree. He had harvested sausages 2 days ago, and already the tree was laden with sausages again. Our sausage is working hard. Sejun praised the tree, patting its branches, and began harvesting the sausages. You have harvested sausages. While he was diligently harvesting sausages. Sejun noticed not just the abundant sausages, but one particularly long and thick giant sausage that was glowing faintly. It's a giant sausage. Sejun hurriedly harvested the sausage, assuming it was a new variety. But instead, you have harvested the relic giant sausage staff. Your job experience increases slightly. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 increases slightly. You gained 100,000 experience points. Relic. Is this a staff? Sniff, sniff. It smells like sausage, though. As Sejun sniffed the sausage in his hand. You have achieved the feat of harvesting a relic. As a reward for the achievement, the shelf life of the relic is doubled. Relics have a shelf life too. Sejun checked the options of the giant sausage staff. Giant sausage staff, a relic sent by the god of sausages Vienna, who oversees all sausages. It is made of sausage and smells strongly of sausage, but it is hard and flexible. Vienna used to nibble on the giant sausage staff during battles to satisfy her hunger. When consumed, all stats increase by 20. Shelf life 60 days. Usage restriction, strength 1000 or more, agility 1000 or more. Creator, Vienna the god of sausages. Grade S. Sent by the god of sausages Vienna. Is there such a god? Although a bit skeptical. Thank you, Viennanim. Sejun expressed his gratitude to Vienna for sending him the relic and created a 3.3 square meters Vienna road. While Sejun was making the Vienna road. Wulong. Aileen checked the vibrating crystal orb. You have acquired an additional relic. It is a one-time use relic. It reduces the time required for the Great Black Tower's growth by 200 days. As expected of our Sejun. He's done something again. As Aileen rejoiced. The growth of the Great Black Tower is complete. The Great Black Tower's functions are activated. It will take 3 days to include Earth, the dimension currently managed by the Black Tower, in its management area. After 3 days, Earth will be temporarily incorporated as the 0th floor of the Black Tower. A black veil began to envelop Earth. Chapter 423, Guys, we can go to my house. Black Tower's administrator area. Kyuhihi, in 3 days I'll be able to see Mother in person. What should I wear? Upon hearing that Earth would be incorporated into the Black Tower, Aileen hurried to her closet and began choosing outfits to wear when meeting Kim Mi-ran. Even though she couldn't descend to the 99th floor of the tower, Aileen temporarily forgot that fact in her excitement. At that moment, Wung, the crystal orb vibrated again. Keikyang, is there something else? Aileen quickly checked the crystal orb. Great Black Tower's administrator manual has been added. Manual. Aileen swiftly, began reading through the manual. Since the Black Tower's 0th floor is temporarily incorporated, there is no land deed. Instead, only administrators, mid-level administrators, and those they permit can enter through the dedicated entrance of the Black Tower's 1st floor. Kyuhihi. Great. Excited that she and Sejun could go to Earth, Aileen's mood changed. However, on the 0th floor, you can only stay in the safe zone created by the Black Tower, and to avoid affecting the 0th floor of the Black Tower, a stay fee must be paid. The stronger your ability, the higher the cost. As she read further, Aileen's expression darkened. If the total sum of all stats is 100, the cost is 100 million. If 1,000, it's 10 billion. If 10,000, it's 100 billion. If 20,000, it's 150 billion. If 30,000, it's 300 billion. Like a progressive tax, the cost increased as the amount of stats increased. Keikying, mine is 10 quadrillion tower coins. TL, 10 quadrillions equals 10,000 trillions. Aileen was greatly shocked. And this was the cost per hour. Due to the premium for being a member of the Great Dragon race, there was an additional surcharge. Keikying, how am I supposed to gather that much money? Feeling depressed as she read the manual, Aileen decided to check on Sejun instead. She searched for Sejun using the crystal orb. 99th floor of the tower. Thwag thwag. Oh, this is good. Sejun exclaimed while swinging the giant sausage staff at a rock maid, using his land-moving skill. Even with a light swing, the sturdy rock shattered under the giant sausage staff. Tremendous destructive power. Despite its seemingly trivial appearance, the relic lived up to its name. After completing the test of the giant sausage staff, Sejun put it down for a moment. Keikilahit Kaying. Hee, the great Blackie will take possession of the giant sausage. As soon as Sejun put it down, Blackie snatched the sausage and ran off. Hey, that's not for you to eat. Sejun hurriedly chased after Blackie. In the past, Sejun would deliberately not catch Blackie and play along, but Blackie had become somewhat stronger after creating a new core. Udadada. Keikilahit Kaying. Hee, here comes the swift Blackie. With his small body, Blackie skillfully navigated through the crops, making it hard for Sejun to catch him. As they continued their game of tag. Pew hut, tomorrow I'll earn 10 times more meow. Theo was filling his bag with crops, burning with determination to sweep up all the tower coins from the green tower tomorrow. Kyuhiha. Sausages for dinner. Kyungi was diligently harvesting sausages, imagining eating sausage for dinner. After a while, huff huff, you sneaky little thing, running only through the crops. If that's how you want to play, I've got a way too. Kyungi, can you catch Blackie for me? Tired from running, Sejun stopped and asked Kyungi for help. Kyung. Got it. Kyungi used telekinesis to lift Blackie into the air. Kaying. I lost him, now I can hide and eat. Blissfully unaware, Blackie joyfully ran towards his secret stash. But, bumpy. Kaying. What's this? Blackie was bewildered when he suddenly couldn't run forward anymore. Flailing about, he frantically moved his legs, but they didn't reach the ground. And then, grab. Heh, got you, you rascal. In the end, while floating in the air, Blackie was caught by the scruff of his neck by Sejun and had to spit out the giant sausage staff. Kaying. My giant sausage. Slurp slurp. Blackie licked around his mouth with a regretful expression. Keikilahit Kaying. Hee, delicious. The taste of the sausage lingering on his tongue quickly lifted Blackie's mood. There are teeth marks, Sejun remarked as he saw the teeth marks on the giant sausage staff after taking it back from Blackie. When I bit it, it didn't even leave a mark, but dragon teeth are different after all. After retrieving the giant sausage staff, Sejun and Kyungi continued harvesting the remaining sausages. And once the sausage harvest was finished, Pew hut, Chairman Park, I'm back meow. Theo, having packed all the items to be sold in his bag, walked over with Blackie on his back, exuding confidence. Keikirorong. He must have picked him up from where he was sprawled out, sleeping on the floor. When Sejun lifted Blackie. Kaying. Sleepy wanna sleep. All right, got it. When Sejun put the whining Blackie into his sling bag. Keikirorong. He soon fell into a deep sleep. Hut, I'm so happy, meow. In the meantime, Theo clung tightly to Sejun's knee, hugging it. At that moment, the tower administrator says there is a way for you to go home. Aileen spoke to Sejun. Initially, Aileen had been disheartened that she couldn't go to Earth with Sejun. But watching Sejun, she realized how selfish she had been. Sejun must want to go home too, right? He always remained cheerful, but occasionally, he would stare blankly into space with a lonely expression. I've been too careless. So she hurried to inform Sejun that he could go home. Hu's home. Sejun was startled by Aileen's words. I thought it was difficult for me to go because I've become strong. The tower administrator says there's no need to worry. The tower administrator says thanks to you, the Black Tower has grown into the Great Black Tower, allowing you to go home safely. Great Black Tower. The tower administrator says the Black Tower grew thanks to your efforts. The tower administrator says so. Aileen explained to Sejun that Earth had been temporarily incorporated as the 0th floor of the Black Tower, and shared the contents of the Black Tower manual she had read. Oh, so in 3 days I can really go home. The tower administrator says you just need to find the land deed for the 1st floor of the tower to go home. Hehe, guys, we can go to my house. Sejun shouted to Theo and Kyungi after hearing Aileen's explanation. Then, meow, isn't this our home, meow? Kyung, we have another house. Both were puzzled. Not our house, my parents' house. Meow, so we get to meet the chairman of Chairman Park, meow. Theo asked excitedly at Sejun's words. Huh? The chairman of Chairman Park, he means my dad. As Sejun interpreted Theo's words. Kyung. Finally, Kyungi get to meet Kyungi's grandma. Grandma will make lots of delicious food. Kyungi cheered and ran around in excitement. Calm down, you two. We need to find the land deed for the 1st floor of the tower first. Sejun calmed them down. Despite constantly searching, they couldn't find the location of the 1st floor land deed. Until now, there was no urgency to leave the tower, so they weren't desperate to find it, but now they truly needed it. Using every means possible, they needed to find the 1st floor land deed within 3 days. Let's go find the land deed. Sejun exclaimed, clenching his fist. Good, meow, let's depart, meow. Kyung. Let's go. Theo and Kyungi clung to Sejun, raising their front paws high. So the 3 no, including Blackie and Peacebees, the 5 of them left the farm and headed to the waypoint. You have arrived at the 75th floor of the Black Tower. Due to the effect of tidal, retrogressor, all stats increase by 24. Sejun and his party arrived at the 75th floor of the tower. A moment later. Hand over the land deed for the 1st floor of the tower, meow. Theo, who was clinging to Sejun's leg, brazenly held out his front paw to Mason, the chairman of the Wandering Merchants Association, demanding the land deed for the 1st floor of the Black Tower. What? Mason wanted to say, it's not like I'm holding onto it for you. How am I supposed to find the 1st floor land deed of the tower all of a sudden? However, he swallowed his words when he met Sejun's eyes, who was quietly waiting for his response. He feared provoking the wrath of the great black dragon by speaking carelessly. I am sorry. I'll do my best to find it. And although it's not for the 35th floor of the Golden Tower, I have found 2 land deeds for the Golden Tower. Mason hurriedly pulled out 2 land deeds. Golden Tower's 22nd floor farm land deed. Golden Tower's 53rd floor farm land deed. Thank you. Sejun accepted the land deeds and then. Clink. This is for the land deeds. You didn't have to, thank you. Feeling guilty for continually receiving things for free, Sejun opened his void storage and handed Mason 2 fistfuls of gold coins. Him. After Sejun and his party left, Mason appraised the gold coins with a monocle. Since the great black dragon had given them, he thought there must be something special about them. And then, this is. Mason was shocked when he saw the small engraving on the gold coin. It was a rare coin, of which only 10,000 existed in the Black Tower. As expected, the great black dragon is truly generous. Mason carefully displayed the 23 gold coins, each worth over 5 billion tower coins, with a satisfied smile. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, where to next, meow? First, we'll go to the 79th floor of the tower, then to the 55th floor. Sejun replied to Theo's question. His plan was to visit the Kingdom of Kav and then the Red Ribbon Kingdom. And then, I'm sorry, we've been searching hard, but we've only found land deeds for the Brown Tower. Queen Prana of the Kingdom of Kav handed over 3 Brown Tower land deeds with an apologetic expression. They were for the 3rd, 32nd, and 34th floors of the Brown Tower. Thank you, this is payment for the land deeds. Sejun again took out some gold from his void storage. This time, he took out a palm-sized golden statue in the shape of an eagle. He just felt drawn to it. After Sejun left, Prana, thinking the golden statue seemed extraordinary, called an appraiser. Your Majesty, this is the golden statue of the first Queen Myrma of the Kingdom of Kav, which was stolen by the faceless thief, Loon. It's an honor for my family that I get to appraise this. The appraiser exclaimed in a voice filled with emotion. The statue was worth nearly 300 billion tower coins. Thus, scattering wealth like that, Sejun arrived at the 55th floor of the tower. Pibayak. Uncle, welcome. Choo-choo. Sejun Nim, welcome. Upon hearing of Sejun's arrival, Black Rabbit and Choo-choo greeted him at the main gate of the White Castle. Yeah. Since it was evening, Sejun dined and chatted with the Black Rabbit couple. So, I'm able to go home now, and I'm looking for the first floor land deed of the tower. Black Rabbit, have you heard anything about the location of the first floor land deed? Pibayak. No, we've been looking hard too, but... Black Rabbit signaled to his subordinates, who brought 7 scrolls in front of Sejun. They were land deeds for the 53rd floor of the Blue Tower, the 23rd, 68th floors of the White Tower, the 25th floor of the Green Tower, and the 22nd, 78th, and 94th floors of the Red Tower. Thank you. As Sejun thanked them while putting away the received land deeds. Pibayak. Uncle, when you go home, take me with you. I want greet Uncle's parents too. You'll take me, right? Black Rabbit asked for permission, saying he wanted to go to Earth too. Of course. Sejun, happy with Black Rabbit's touching request, started to agree, but then he noticed Black Rabbit flinching as he made eye contact with Choo-choo. Our Black Rabbit is still having a hard time. I'll definitely take you with me. As Sejun resolved to bring Black Rabbit to Earth. Rumble. A black hole appeared in the air, and the golden cart that had gone to the Golden Tower returned just after 2 days, having sold everything. Chapter 424. Hehe. Is it time for our reaction master Blackie to take the stage? Where? The automatic cart wandering between the Black Tower and Golden Tower slowly emerged from the black hole and approached Sejun. Meow. More precisely, it stopped in front of Theo, who was diligently licking his front paws to get rid of the fishy smell from the fish he had just eaten while sitting on Sejun's lap. Did it already sold everything? As Sejun reached out to the cart. Pajajik. Ouch, that stings. The cart generated an electric shock, rejecting Sejun's touch. It was a loyal golden cart that only allowed its owner's touch. However, Huck, you attacked Chairman Park, meow. Bad cart, meow. When Theo got angry at the cart instead. Where? The golden cart, sensing Theo's intention, immediately turned towards Sejun. And then, clunk, it opened its entrance, showing Sejun the inside of the cart. Inside, instead of the items originally placed, there were charred wood, stones with golden streaks like lightning, and yellow mushrooms. Did it really bring only useless things? Just as Sejun was feeling disappointed. Starting settlement. Letters began to appear on the cart's door. All items were sold for 11 million tower coins. Failed to purchase the land deed for the 35th floor of the Golden Tower, as instructed. Purchased 75 pieces of lightning-struck wood for 750 tower coins. Purchased 1,500 lightning stones for 300 tower coins. Purchased 3,000 stinging mushrooms for 1,500 tower coins. Purchased the order form from Bana village for 0 tower coins. Looking at the purchase prices, it seemed like they really were useless items. But what's this order form? Sejun was puzzled by the unexpected item. Is it that? He noticed a white envelope among the items. Swoosh! When he picked up the envelope and took out the paper inside. Bana village order form. Orderer, village chief of Bana village. Ordered items, 20,000 magical cherry tomatoes. Order price, 5 tower coins each. The details were written on it. Looks like magical cherry tomatoes are popular in the Golden Tower. He had been selling them for 2 tower coins each, but the price had been increased by 2.5 times on its own. While Sejun was reading the order form. Pipayo pipayo. Sejun Nim are those lightning-struck wood and lightning stones. Chu-Chu, who was watching from behind, asked in a slightly excited voice. Yeah, how did you know? Pipayo pipayo, pipayo pipayo. Those are extremely valuable. Magicians who handle lightning attributes go crazy for them. Me too. Chu-Chu answered, suppressing her inner feelings. Really? Hearing Chu-Chu's words, Sejun hurriedly checked the options of the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones. Lightning-struck wood. Wood that has been struck by lightning, enhancing the flow of lightning attribute energy. When used to make lightning attribute equipment, it reduces magic consumption by 10%. Grade A+. Lightning stone. A stone that has been struck by lightning multiple times, containing the energy of the lightning attribute. When used to make a weapon, it can be used to create a lightning attribute weapon. When used to make a staff, it amplifies lightning attribute attacks by 1.3 times. Grade S. Just as Chu-Chu had said, these items were indeed prized by lightning attribute magicians. Combining these two would create a special staff for lightning attribute magic that would reduce magic consumption and increase attack power. Chu-Chu, so how much are these worth? Sejun asked Chu-Chu with an expectant look. Pipayo pipayo, pipayo pipayo. At least the lightning-struck wood would be around 10 billion tower coins, and the lightning stones about 300 million tower coins. Since there's no supply, they could be sold for even higher prices. Really? Pipayo pipayo. Yes. The cart bought the lightning-struck wood for 10 tower coins, and the lightning stones for 0.2 tower coins. What is with the personality of those Golden Tower elves? Sejun praised the personalities of the elves from the Golden Tower as he picked up a stinging mushroom. Stinging mushroom. A mushroom that grows on the ceiling of dark caves in the Golden Tower, enduring the energy of the lightning attribute that flows through the ground when lightning strikes. When consumed, it gives a slight tingling sensation on the tongue due to its lightning attribute. Consumption increases resistance to the lightning attribute. Prolonged consumption can awaken the talent, lightning resistance. Shelf life 60 days. Grade C. Oh, this is good too. If it increases lightning attribute resistance, it's definitely worth eating regularly. Munch munch. Sejun cut off a small piece of the stinging mushroom to taste it. Zap. Suddenly, his tongue felt like it was electrified and went numb. Ah, my teeth ith numb. His tongue was so numb that he couldn't pronounce words properly. Once the numbness subsided, I can't be the only one to have this great experience. A mischievous thought crossed his mind. Guys, try this. He then gave the stinging mushroom to Kyungi, Black Rabbit, and Choo Choo. He also offered it to Theo. No way, meow. I Vice Chairman Theo don't eat such things, meow. Of course Theo refused. Numb. Thus the three ate the stinging mushroom, excluding Theo. Kyuehe Kyuang. Heh, it's a strange taste. Pipayak. It's tingly. Pipayu pipayu. It's a taste I've never experienced before. Contrary to Sejun's expectations, the three of them ate it comfortably because they already had a high resistance to the lightning attribute. No fun. When he didn't get the reaction he expected. Keikirarong. Heh, is it time for our reaction master Blackie to take the stage? Sejun brought the stinging mushroom close to Blackie's tongue, who was sleeping with his tongue slightly out. Then, Keikiak Keikiak. Nukio, HWO dares to disturb Te Grat Blakey. An angry Blackie made a strange noise and looked around frantically. As expected of our Blackie, you never disappoint me. Blackie, did you have a bad dream? Quickly eat this. Satisfied with Blackie's reaction, Sejun hurriedly put a piece of dried sweet potato in Blackie's mouth. Then, Kaying, was it a dream? Blackie tilted his head in confusion. Nom nom nom, and started eating the dried sweet potato. After calming Blackie down. So how much is all this worth? Sejun began calculating the money. There were 75 pieces of lightning-struck wood and 1,500 lightning stones. Then I've made over 1 trillion tower coins this time. Since Choo Choo mentioned the minimum price, if lucky, it could even go up to 2 trillion tower coins. Golden Tower is the best. While Sejun marveled at the greatness of the Golden Tower. Pew Hu Hut, it's all thanks to me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. Theo said, feeling proud. Heh, yes, our Vice Chairman Theo is the best. When Sejun patted Theo's head and praised him. Kyung. Is Kyungi not the best? Kyungi looked at Sejun with a slightly sulky expression. Kking. How could you leave out the great Blackie? Quickly say Blackie is the best. Blackie barked eagerly, wondering how he could be excluded. Yes, yes, all of you are the best. Sejun hugged and comforted Theo, Kyungi, Blackie, Black Rabbit, and Choo Choo. Vice Chairman Theo, load the cart with cherry tomatoes and other crops, and this time also register the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones as purchase items. Pew Hut got it, meow. Following Sejun's instructions, Theo hurriedly loaded the cart with crops. Since the stinging mushroom was something only he and Blackie would eat, it seemed there was no need for it for a while. A little later. Earn lots of money, meow. Where? With the cart fully loaded, Theo sent the golden cart back to the Golden Tower. Since the cart returned in just 2 days, there were still 28 days left out of the 30, meaning that to go to the Golden Tower right away, he had to pay 280 billion tower coins. But it was definitely not a loss, as he could make much more profit. Spending some money to go to the Golden Tower quickly and bring back the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones would be more profitable. As the golden cart headed back to the Golden Tower. Here, take these. Sejun handed 10 pieces each of the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones to Choo Choo, who couldn't take her eyes off them. And then, we're leaving now. Just as he was about to return to the 99th floor of the tower. Pipayak. Uncle, stay overnight. Black Rabbit held onto Sejun's clothes tightly. Shall we? Would you like to sleep together since it's been a while? Looking into Black Rabbit's eyes, Sejun couldn't refuse and decided to stay and sleep with Black Rabbit. Pipayak. Yes. Black Rabbit nodded enthusiastically at Sejun's words, sending a grateful look that said, Uncle, thank you. Golden Tower, 12th floor. Bang! As the golden cart running across the lightning-struck plains arrived near Bana village. Oh, the golden cart is here. Hurry and inform Elder Bana. Got it. One of the elves, guarding the village boundary, quickly reported to Bana. Soon after, Wung, a protective barrier to block the lightning was created, and the elves hurriedly ran outside. Then, hurry up and pick up the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones. Following Bana's orders, they began their work. For trading, they needed something valuable, but most elves in the Golden Tower lived self-sufficiently in caves and had no tower coins. So they sold items to the Golden Cart to make money. While these materials were very rare in the Black Tower, in the Golden Tower, lightning-struck wood and lightning stones were as common as dirt. Thus, the elves collected and sold the wood and stones scattered on the ground to earn money. Purchased 20,000 magical cherry tomatoes. They managed to buy the ordered magical cherry tomatoes. Wow, they pay us just for selling things we pick up off the ground. The Golden Cart is the best. Where? The elves cheered as they watched the Golden Cart depart. The next morning, Pipayak, Uncle, take care, I'll come up in 2 days. Black Rabbit, whose complexion had visibly improved compared to the day before, saw Sejun off. On the way out of the White Castle to head home. Meow, Chairman Park, my front paws are being pulled, meow. Theo suddenly stretched out his front paws toward the front, exclaiming in an excited voice. Oh, really? Sejun also looked ahead with an excited voice. And then, baa. A young golden sheep, unaware of anything, was humming a tune as it approached the White Castle. Oh, isn't that Mimmer? Pew Hugh Hut, yes it is, meow. Oh, such luck. Sejun didn't know what Theo was drawn to, but the chances of Theo getting that item from Mimmer were 100%. Mimmer, unaware that Sejun and Theo were watching her with smiles, continued walking. Blah, Sejun nim and Theo nim. Mimmer, the legendary merchant golden sheep, belatedly sensed the intense gazes and spotted Sejun and Theo in front of her. I need to run away. Feeling something ominous, Mimmer tried to turn away. Meow step. Theo, who rarely left Sejun's lap, appeared in front of Mimmer in an instant and Mimmer handed over Meow. He confidently extended his front paw. Wow, what ba? Mimmer was greatly flustered by Theo's words. Pew Hugh Hut, I know everything, meow. Hand it over quickly, meow. As Theo shouted confidently again. Sighed, okay, ba. I struggled for years to get this. Mimmer sighed and pulled out a box hidden in her golden fur, handing it to Theo. However, meow, what's this, meow? I'll gratefully accept it, meow, but this isn't it, meow. Shaking the box he received, Theo extended his front paw again. Baya. This isn't it, then you should give it back. Mimmer, bewildered, looked at Theo with a pitiful expression. Pew Hugh Hut, hurry up and give it, meow. But Theo didn't seem to have any intention of leaving without it. Then is it maybe this? That's not it, meow, but I'll accept it gratefully, meow. Then this. No, meow, but I'll use it well, meow. Thus, Mimmer was completely stripped of all the items she had hidden in her fur. Then, what's this? While rummaging through her fur, she found an old scroll that she had forgotten about. Pew Hugh Hut, that's it, meow, thanks, Mimmer, meow. Theo snatched the scroll from Mimmer's hand and disappeared in an instant. Chairman Park, take this, meow, it's my gift, meow. Theo thrust the scroll document he received from Mimmer and the other items into Sejun's arms. Chapter 425, Look Beyond the Face. Seed Shop Headquarters. Park Sejun, the Black Tower's tower farmer, has built a temple 3.3 square meters for the Vienna, the god of sausages. Divine power increases by 3. As expected, Park Sejun likes it. Vienna, the god of sausages, who received a temple after sending Sejun a giant sausage staff, cheered. You can't resist sausages after all, mwahahaha. It wasn't just because she was the god of sausages. Sausages were truly a great crop. You could eat them and also use them as equipment. Good, let's aim for 16.5 square meters with this momentum. Vienna was burning with enthusiasm. Drip, drip. She plucked sausages from the ends of her hair. As befitting the god of sausages, Vienna's hair was a string of sausages. Vienna carefully connected each sausage she had plucked. She was currently creating a relic, the sausage shield of hunger. Enemies who smelled the sausage scent emanating from the shield would feel immense hunger and become obsessed with eating the source of the smell, the sausage shield. And while the enemies were busy eating the sausage shield, you just have to hit them hard. Mu-hoo-hoo. With this shield alone, Vienna became one of the top 5 tankers among the non-combat gods. Moreover, if she wielded the giant sausage staff, the said effect would intensify hunger and weaken the enemy's strength. Park Sejun, just wait a bit, I'll surprise you. A little later. Good, the handle is complete. As Vienna looked contentedly at the hangul, Kodi Hud Inus shaped curved sausage. I must get a temple from Park Sejun with my relic. With my relic, I should be able to get at least 9.9 square meters. Other gods were also busy creating relics to send to Sejun. However, sending a relic wasn't an easy task. The only reason Vienna could send her relic was that she knew there was a sausage tree with Sejun. And Flamey was growing the sausage tree into a world tree. Thanks to that, she could send the relic with minimal divine power to the exact location. Fortunately, there was another god here who met those conditions. Good, it's done. Uncle, the god of grapevines, sent his relic to Pottery on the 99th floor of the tower. TL, here Uncle is in English. Black Tower, first floor land deed. I got this again in such a way. It didn't show up when he was looking for it. Sejun said as he looked at the land deed for the first floor of the Black Tower in his hand. And then Sejun tightly gripped the land deed. In 2 days he would finally go home. He was starting to feel the reality of being able to go home. But I can't let my guard down. Whenever something good happened, something bad always followed. Swoosh. As Sejun put the land deed into his pocket, collecting his thoughts, Chairman Park opened this. Meow. Thea handed over a box he first received from Mimmer. What is this? I don't know. Meow, but Mimmer didn't want to give it. Meow, so I didn't give it back. Meow. As expected, he's a sly cat. Really? Haha, is it something good? When Sejun opened the box. Sunglasses. Inside were luxurious glasses, framed in gold, with dark black gemstones. Void's gaze. The name already sounded impressive. What is this? A grade legendary item or a relic? Sejun picked up the glasses with a face full of anticipation. Well, he was surprised by the extremely light weight as soon as he picked them up, and again by the stable balance and grip. It was definitely something crafted by a master craftsman. Just by holding it, he couldn't help but be impressed, making him very curious about its options. Sejun quickly checked the options. Void's gaze. This is the 3rd limited edition of the 5th piece created by the Black Tower's top designer, Amur Lange. Number 53. Amur Lange created this with the concept of, I don't want others to notice my gaze when worn. Specially processed obsidian lenses allow the wearer to see others, but others cannot see the wearer's eyes. The gold frame is specially processed to reduce weight by hollowing out the interior, and the reduced strength is compensated by reinforcement magic. Only one is made per year. Usage restriction, none. Maker Amur Lange. Grade C. Sejun read it several times, but no matter how many times he read it, there was nothing special. What is this? It was so strange that he asked Aileen for an appraisal, but the tower administrator says this item is already appraised. Okay, thanks. It wasn't an unappraised item. It was just a pair of sunglasses with no special abilities. It was surprising that it had a grade of C despite having no abilities. It was indeed a luxury item. While Sejun was examining the Void's gaze. Sejun Nim, could you please return that? I've been waiting 5 years to buy it. Mimmer, who had come running at some point, looked at Sejun with a teary expression. Sure. Sejun put the sunglasses he was holding on Mimmer. Bahaha, thank you, Sejun Nim. Mimmer, who received the sunglasses, thanked Sejun and hurriedly pulled out a mirror from her fur. Kaya so pretty. She began to admire his reflection, wearing the void's gaze. By the way, who is Amour Lange? Bah, you do know Amour Lange. He's a designer who became famous 100 years ago, but he's so popular now that you have to wait at least a few years to buy one of his items. Really? Where can I meet him? He has a studio on the 89th floor of the tower. Why? Nothing, just want to meet him sometime. 89th floor of the tower. I should have him work with Blackster later. Blackster is good with magic, and Amour Lange has great craftsmanship. If the two of them make equipment together, it will definitely create amazing synergy. Mimmer, take this. Sejun returned Mimmer's items that Theo had brought. And this is the payment for the land deed. In exchange for taking the Black Tower first floor land deed, he gave Mimmer some of the lightning-struck wood and lightning stones. Thank you, Mimmer exclaimed excitedly upon receiving the items. As Chu Chu had mentioned, these two items were extremely difficult to obtain materials. By giving these items, Sejun could make future deals more advantageous. Well then, goodbye. After giving the items to Mimmer, Sejun and his companions parted ways with Mimmer. Goodbye. Mimmer waved enthusiastically until Sejun disappeared from sight. And once Sejun was out of sight, Mehiha, stylish golden sheep Mimmer is here. Mimmer, adjusting the void's gaze, entered White Castle with a swagger. To show off to Chu Chu. Chu Chu was the next person on the waiting list after Mimmer, who had reserved the void's gaze. Black Tower, 99th floor. Ha ha ha, did I tell you? Our Sejun turned the Black Tower into the Great Black Tower. You've said it more than 100 times, so stop it. Yeah, stop already. Ah, my stomach hurts. Kaiser's boasting irritated Kellyan, Ramter and Tyr. But, ha ha ha, did I say that? My apologies. To make up for it, when I become a VVIP, I'll give everyone a glass of golden samyangju. Kaiser's taunting didn't end. He acted as if he was already a VVIP. To think we have to keep seeing this. If only Sejun was at our tower would have become the Great Tower. If only our Sejun was with us. While the other dragons were feeling regret. Oh, our Sejun is here. Sensing Sejun's presence arriving at the waypoint, Kaiser went out to greet him. You have arrived at the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Home. As soon as he arrived on the 99th floor of the tower. Clang. Chairman Park, I missed you, meow. Kyung. It's Daddy. Kaying. The Great Blackie has arrived. The void storage opened, and Theo, Kyungi, and Blackie rushed to Sejun. Then, cling cling. Theo and Kyungi clung to their usual spots, except for Blackie. Kaying. Pick me up. Sejun picked up the barking Blackie from the floor and put him in his sling bag. At that moment, ha ha ha, our Sejun, did you have a good trip? Kaiser greeted Sejun. Our Sejun worked hard. Our Sejun seems to have become a bit more handsome. Ramter, have you no shame, no matter what? Of course, the other dragons followed Kaiser. What's wrong with our Sejun? You should look beyond the face and see the inner self. Kaiser hurriedly tried to cover up, fearing Sejun would be hurt by Tyr's words. But Sejun felt even more hurt by Kaiser's cover-up. I'm back. Sejun greeted the dragons, who started arguing with each other, and Minotaur King, can I copy one of your skills? He asked the Minotaur King, the strongest being in the Black Tower. He was very excited about what skill he might obtain. Moo moo. Yes, feel free to copy. Thanks. Sejun placed his hand on the Minotaur King's leg. Would you like to copy a skill from the target? Yes. You will randomly copy one of the target's skills. What will it be? As Sejun checked the message with a tense expression. You have copied the skill, Vegetarian Master. The message appeared. Vegetarian. Is eating only plants a skill? Sejun, bewildered, checked the skill. Vegetarian master. This is a racial skill possessed by black minotaurs from birth. Your stats increase for every 1 kg of grass eaten within 3 hours. The stats that increase depend on the type of plants eaten. Oh, stats increase just by eating plants. I don't even need elixirs. This is good enough to be called a skill. Sejun nodded as he read the skill description. At the same time, he understood why black minotaurs ate plants so diligently. Good, now let's use the skill. Sejun gripped the skill copying stone and infused it with magic power to use the skill. You have used the skill, Vegetarian Master. Your stats will increase every time you eat 1 kg of plants within 3 hours. And then, Minotaur King, I'll copy one more time. Moo. Okay. With an extra slot available, Sejun, feeling unsatisfied, copied another skill from the Minotaur King. However, you have copied the skill, Vegetarian Master. He ended up with the same skill again. Sejun used the vegetarian skill and copied skills multiple times. However, only one skill was copied each time. It was now clear. The only skill Sejun could copy from the Minotaur King was vegetarian. And shall we go home, Toryang? As Sejun called for Toryang to head home. Ha ha ha, Sejun, you'll be going home soon. Have you prepared gifts for your parents? No, I couldn't because I was busy getting the land deed for the first floor of the tower. I'm going to prepare now. Ha ha ha, then leave it to me. I'll prepare something good for you. Kaiser said, flying alongside Sejun. Yes, thank you. Although doubtful, Sejun thanked him. Ha ha ha, yes, just trust me. Kaiser remained confident until the end. I'm worried. If he gives me something too powerful again, I'll be in danger first. The more he thought about it, the more anxious Sejun became. I should prepare my parents' gifts myself. A little later, Theo went to work at the Green Tower, and Kyungi went to look at herbs. Then, Keikirorong, you have harvested magical cherry tomatoes. Listening to Blackie's snores from the sling bag, Sejun harvested the crops he planned to take home. He planned to bring about 10,000 each of cherry tomatoes, sweet potatoes, and corn, etc. But how big is our house? Will there be enough space? Sejun pondered for a moment. I should put them in the space expansion pouch. As Sejun was putting the harvested crops into the space expansion pouch, Sejun Nim. Pottery called out to Sejun. What is it? Take this, someone sent it for you. Pottery moved its vine and brought a small object hanging from the end of the vine in front of Sejun. A bracelet. A bracelet made of grapevines. Plug. Sejun harvested the bracelet. Chapter 426, Pip Pip, I need to find a gift. Seed Shop Headquarters. World Tree, can you deliver this to Park Sejun? Uncle, the god of grapevines, initially thought it would be easy to send the relic. The World Tree was originally a grapevine, and on top of that, it had strong energy. However, who do you think you are? The World Tree immediately spoke informally. It was extremely rude. Just send it. Although he wanted to shout like this, the World Tree was an entity with a status equivalent to a demigod. In his current powerless state, he couldn't treat it recklessly. Maybe it doesn't know who I am. World Tree, I am Uncle, the god of grapevines. So he revealed his identity, but, oh, Uncle, how nice to meet you. You think being a god is everything. When I prayed so hard to have seeds when I became a seedless grape, you didn't show up and now you appear because you need something. How can a god be so shameless? It backfired instead. You should complain to Li, the god of abundance. It was a believer of Li, the god of abundance, who did that. World Tree, there seems to be a misunderstanding. At that time, I was in the process of recovering my strength, so I couldn't hear your voice. Besides, the one who made you seedless was. Uncle told Pottery the truth, that it was Li, the god of abundance behind the king of farming in order to save himself. Thus, the truth Sejun had kept quiet for everyone's peace reached Pottery's ears. A believer of Li, the god of abundance, made me seedless. Pottery took revenge on the Li god of abundance in the best way she could. It was road blocking. Kwek. Guys, sorry, but please don't use this path for a while. Kwek. Pottery blocked the path of the mushroom ants with its branches, preventing them from passing through the Li road. And then, give it, I'll deliver it to Sejun Nim. Grumbling, Pottery received the relic sent by Uncle and delivered it to Sejun. You have harvested the grapevine bracelet of sealing. Your job experience has slightly increased. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has slightly increased. Your proficiency in harvesting LV8 has been filled and the level increases. You have gained 100,000 experience points. Oh, finally leveled up. The harvesting skill that hadn't leveled up for a long time finally reached level 9. You have achieved the feat of harvesting a relic. As a reward for the achievement, the shelf life of the divine relic is doubled. The achievement message followed. This has a shelf life too. Sejun checked the bracelet in his hand after reading the achievement message. Grapevine bracelet of sealing. A relic sent by Uncle, the god of grapevines who oversees the grapevines. A bracelet made by weaving multiple layers of grapevines. When you set a target, the grapevines grow and attach to the target. Uncle used this bracelet to seal the enemy's power and engage in battle. It seals the wearer's strength by up to 99%. It can seal up to a total of 15,000 stats. Shelf life 200 days. Usage restriction, all stats 500 or higher. Maker, Uncle the god of grapevines. Grade S+. Nice. With this, I don't need to move around cautiously. Sejun looked satisfied after checking the options of the grapevine bracelet of sealing. Sejun had one dilemma. If he used the land deed to go down to the first floor of the Black Tower, what about the other hunters? Hunters who couldn't withstand Sejun's energy would be in danger if Sejun went down. The area outside the tower is a safe zone, but the first floor of the tower is not. So he had considered ordering his subordinates to vacate the first floor of the tower temporarily. But with this bracelet, there's no need for such measures. He could put the others in the void storage and go down to the first floor of the tower with his power sealed. And, hey, I can become a hidden powerhouse. I'll pretend to be weak and then unseal to teach them a lesson. Just thinking about it makes my heart swell. As Sejun held the bracelet and chuckled to himself, lost in all sorts of imaginations. Pew hut, it sold out, meow. Theo, who had arrived at the first floor of the Green Tower, sold out all the goods he had brought. Instead of the now unpopular sturdy blade green onions, Theo sold the vitality-infused fragrant grapes and the screaming pineapples. After demonstrating the power of the pineapple bomb, he was able to achieve 10 times the planned sales. Pew hut. As expected, Theo Park, am the great legendary merchant second only to Chairman Park, meow. While Theo was proudly eating the grilled fish lunchbox Sejun had packed on the roof of the shop. Goo! Suddenly, a massive energy was felt from the sky. Meow! This is Ophelia's energy, meow. Theo hurriedly used energy drain to absorb Ophelia's energy so that other customers wouldn't be affected. And then, thump! Theo, I want to eat that too. Thanks to Theo's intervention, Ophelia, who could now move freely on the first floor of the tower, sat next to Theo and demanded the grilled fish that Theo hadn't touched yet. However, no way, meow. This is the grilled fish that Chairman Park painstakingly grilled just for me, meow. Theo refused. Even though the other party was the Great Green Dragon, he didn't hesitate for a moment. What? Ophelia's face hardened at Theo's rejection. How dare he refuse the Great Green Dragon, Ophelia Iorg's request? Not even a bite. No way, meow. GRR. just as Ophelia was about to explode. Instead, eat this, meow. Thrust. Theo handed her a sausage skewer that was next to the grilled fish. It was a sausage skewer grilled after putting several sausages on a skewer. It had accidentally ended up in Theo's lunchbox instead of Kyungi's. What is this? Ophelia asked, taking the skewer with a pouty expression. It's a sausage skewer, meow. It's also something Chairman Park grilled with care, meow, Hut. Of course, it's not as good as my grilled fish, meow. Theo's words were annoying. But what's this savory and delicious smell? Ophelia, focused on the sausage skewer in her hand, didn't hear Theo's words. Hut, now she won't bother me, meow. Seeing Ophelia focused on the sausage, Theo began eating his grilled fish in earnest. And then, numb. Ophelia took a bite of one of the sausages at the end of the skewer. Crunch. The bouncy texture of the plump sausage, combined with its saltiness and the savory flavor of the meat, mingled in her mouth. It's delicious. Ophelia, amazed by the taste of the sausage she had for the first time in her 800-year dragon life, quickly ate the whole skewer. Theo, give me another sausage skewer. Ophelia extended her hand to Theo again. There aren't any more, meow. That was all, meow. The sausage skewer had accidentally ended up in Theo's lunchbox, so that was all there was. Theo, bring a lot of sausage skewers tomorrow. Got it. Hut, got it, meow. But Ophelia also needs to work hard too, meow. Chairman Park said that slaves who don't work hard don't get to eat, meow. Okay, I'll work hard, so make sure to bring lots of sausages tomorrow. Got it. Got it, meow. And so, Ophelia agreed to receive sausages from Theo. Grow, grow. As soon as she arrived on the 99th floor of the tower, she diligently sprinkled mugwort seeds and used her skills enthusiastically. West side of the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Sniff, sniff. Kyungi roamed around the herb field with his nose to the ground. Then, Kyuehe Kyung. Hehe found it. Thump. Kyungi dug deep into the ground with his front paw and unearthed a red kudzu root. Kyung. This is for Kyungi's grandma. Kyungi carefully put the kudzu root he had just dug up into his snack pouch. He was gathering herbs to give to Sejun's mother, Kim Mi-ran, as a gift. Thump. Kyungi continued to dig up kudzu roots diligently. A little while later. Kyung. Dad, Kyungi is back. Kyungi, who had gathered a lot of herbs, returned home. Kyungi's back. Kyungi's back, meow. Sejun, who had returned from work early, and Theo, who was hanging onto Sejun's lap, welcomed Kyungi. At that moment, Kyung. Dad, look at this. This is a gift for Kyungi's grandma. Kyungi, who had arrived in front of Sejun, opened his snack pouch and proudly showed off the herbs he had dug up. Warmth kudzu root. Kudzu root for blood circulation. Sturdy kudzu root. They all had effects like slightly raising body temperature, improving blood circulation, or making the body a bit sturdier, with all the grades being low, E or D. However, for a non-hunter, these were just right. Oh my, our Kyungi is so good. Did you dig these up for your grandma? Kyung. Yes, that's right. As Sejun patted Kyungi's bottom in praise for his commendable act. Meow, this is bad, meow. I haven't prepared a gift for Chairman's chairman, meow. Seeing Kyungi's gift, Theo suddenly became anxious. Chairman Park, I'll go find a gift too, meow. Theo hurriedly used Meow Step to go down the tower. Black Tower's administrator area. Mother, please take care of me. Aileen was going to learn cooking from Kim Mi-ran starting today. Sure, let's do our best. Yes, Mother. Oh, by the way, Sejun will be leaving the tower the day after tomorrow. Really? So he's coming home? Yes. Then I should prepare some of Sejun's favorite foods tomorrow. Mother, I want to learn to make Sejun's favorite foods too. All right, then tomorrow I'll teach you the foods Sejun likes. Yes, thank you. The atmosphere between the two was very good, until they started cooking. Aileen, the fire seems too strong. You need to reduce it. It should be just hot enough to feel warm. Kim Miran commented, seeing the almost metal-melting fire in the mirror. Yes, just hot enough, right? Aileen, misunderstanding, increased the fire even more. For Aileen, the feeling of just hot enough was still far off. No, Aileen, I said to reduce the fire. The soy sauce has all evaporated. Yes, I'm sorry. No, there's no need to be sorry. Let's try again. Yes. Aileen spent the entire 3 hours allowed by the mirror of longing practicing fire control until the cooking lesson ended. It's urgent, meow. Theo was hurriedly going down the tower to find a gift. At that moment, Theo, Theonim, Theonim, where are you going? He ran into Piot and Urin, who were returning to the 99th floor of the tower. Hut, Urin, lead the way, meow. Where to? I don't know, meow. Just go wherever you want, meow. Where I want to go. At Theo's words, Urin turned his steps towards the place he wanted to go. Stop. Within 10 minutes, robbers appeared. Such was Urin's incredible misfortune. Hut, stamp it, meow. Theo quickly subdued the robbers. Press. Piot followed behind, getting the robbers' stamps on the slave contracts. Even though they wandered around the tower late into the night, with Urin leading the way. Meow, it's a failure, meow. When I think of chairman's chairman, my front paws don't get pulled, meow. The golden paw, which only activated for Sejun, didn't work. Let's just go home, meow. Theo, disappointed, returned to the 99th floor of the tower. But Theo didn't know that he had already given Sejun's family a tremendous gift. Theo's share was considerable in the fact that Earth was not engulfed in destruction, and that Sejun could leave the tower. Kerora. Kirorong. Meow. Theo entered the bedroom where Sejun and Blackie were sleeping. Gororong. He settled on Sejun's lap and fell into a deep sleep then. Pip, I need to find a gift, Pip step. This time, Peacebees hurriedly moved to find a gift for Sejun's family. Chapter 427, Wasn't This Only on Earth? 99th floor of the Black Tower. All right. Sejun opened his eyes. The seal of the Earth's jewel has been broken. Har, the god of basalt, who was sealed within the Earth's jewel, is released from the seal. Har, the god of basalt, repays the favor to the one who released his seal. Har, the god of basalt, repays the favor by creating a basalt road on 3.3 square meters of land. During sleep, 10% of your life force has been stored. The life orb is 8.91% complete. 1 magic power has been accumulated over 24 hours. Magic power increases by 0.1. Basalt Road. Hehe, I'm looking forward to this. As Sejun smiled with anticipation. Gororong. Kirorong. He heard the snoring of Theo and Blackie. Oh, Theo's here. Sejun stroked the head of Theo, who was sleeping on his lap. Meow. Theo smiled at Sejun's touch and rubbed his head against Sejun's hand. But didn't he say he was going to get a gift? I wonder if he found one. He disappeared so suddenly yesterday that he couldn't even catch him. Well, if it's Theo, he must have gotten it. It would be strange if he didn't with his luck. Pad. Sejun put Theo on his lap and slung the sling bag containing Blackie over his shoulder. Swoosh. And marked another line on the bedroom wall, starting the 409th day morning. First, I need to find the basalt road. When Sejun came out of the bedroom, Pirorong. Urorong. He heard the snoring of Piot and Urin from the guest room. Did they come up with Theo? Sejun carefully opened the door and went outside to avoid disturbing their sleep. And then, step. He walked around the farm, letting the crops hear his footsteps. The magical peanuts thank the farmer's footsteps and lend their strength. The potential of the magic stat increases from 4891 to 4892. He increased his potential and also looked for the basalt road that had been created somewhere. A moment later. Is this it? Sejun discovered a road paved with black basalt. This is powder. For some reason Har, the god of basalt, had sprinkled a 10 cm thick layer of stone powder on the road. What is this? Is it edible? Sejun carefully touched the stone powder with his finger and cautiously put it in his mouth. Sejun was greatly surprised by the taste. Naturally, he had to be. How does a god know about Oreo? The stone powder tasted like Oreo, a snack from Earth. Wasn't this only on Earth? No, that's not what's important right now. Sejun hurriedly took out a shovel and scooped the Oreo powder into a leather pouch. Heh, it's rewarding to start the morning like this. While Sejun was pleased with the Oreo powder in the leather pouch, your soul is filled with satisfaction from obtaining good ingredients. Mental strength increases by 1. His mental strength increased. I'll give you 28.05 square meters Harnim. Sejun made in 28.05 square meters Har Road. Aileen, how much time is left now? He asked Aileen how much time was left until Earth was incorporated into the 0th floor of the Black Tower. The tower administrator says there are 24 hours and 37 minutes left. Okay, thanks for letting me know. By this time tomorrow, he would be able to leave the tower. Hum. Sejun headed to the kitchen, humming a tune that came out naturally. U.S. Department of Defense. With 25 hours and 10 minutes remaining until operation time, 98% of Texas residents have been evacuated. The face of the Secretary of Defense did not relax upon receiving the report. 2% may seem like a small number, but with Texas's population nearing 30 million, it meant that 600,000 people had yet to be evacuated. What about the remaining 2%? The remaining 2% of the citizens are too deep inside Texas, making rescue difficult, but we are doing our best. All right, do your best until the very end. Yes, sir. After the subordinate finished the report and left. Sigh. The Secretary of Defense, feeling heavy-hearted, let out a big sigh. He was the one who suggested using nuclear missiles, but he didn't want to use them on U.S. soil. However, this was the best option for now. If the fully grown flesh eaters began to move, the entire U.S. would be in danger. Click. The Secretary of Defense picked up his smartphone and called someone. Hello. Director, have there been any updates from the CIA agents in Korea? The Secretary of Defense called his friend, the CIA director, to inquire about the situation in Korea. Specifically, he wanted to know if the Golden Bat, which created the miracle in Austin, Texas, had appeared again. This was the last hope to avoid using nukes. Not yet. I see. Let me know as soon as you hear anything. Will do. Click. After hanging up, the Secretary of Defense took out a cigar from his drawer and lit it, quickly filling the office with a haze of smoke. All right, I've made 100 pancakes and 1,000 sadiak. Sejun prepared snacks for Aileen to eat and food to sell at Dragon Market while he was away. He even made snacks for the leaders occupying the fountain. With Kaiser, Kellyan, Ramter, and Tyr managing the 99th floor of the tower, he couldn't neglect them. Since he was going home after a long time, he planned to stay on Earth for about 10 days. With the current money he had, about 7 trillion tower coins, it would be enough to take everyone with him. While Sejun was busy preparing to go to Earth, unaware of the lurking threat. Meow, Chairman Park, did you make sausage skewers, meow? Theo, who had just woken up, asked if Sejun had made Ophelia's sausage skewers as he mentioned yesterday. Yes, of course I did. Pew hut, then did you make my grilled fish too, meow? Theo, whose eyes were now sparkling, asked while looking at Sejun. Of course, Vice Chairman Theo, I'm grilling an especially big one for you. When Sejun showed Theo the fish grilling on the brazier. Pew hut, very excellent, meow. Theo smiled contentedly and began grooming himself. At that moment, Kyung. Dad, good morning. Kyungi, who had woken up, rubbed his eyes and greeted Sejun in the kitchen. Yes, did you sleep well, Kyungi? Kyung. Yes, I did. Then help your dad a bit. Kyung. Got it, Kyungi will help. I can get a 5-star stamp. The thought of getting a stamp made Kyungi's eyes sparkle. Squeeze this. Sejun placed a basket full of cherry tomatoes, pineapples, and grapes in front of Kyungi. Kyung. Got it. Kyungi enlarged himself, picked up the basket, and dumping the fruits onto his palm. Then, squeeze. When Kyungi pressed the fruits with both front paws. Splash. The juice flowed into the large bottle Sejun had prepared. Thanks to Kyungi, Sejun was able to make an enormous amount of cherry tomato, pineapple, and grape juice. Once the juicing was done, Kyung. Dad's stamp here. Kyungi, who had shrunk back down, pulled out the stamp card from his snack pouch with an excited expression. All right, here you go, well done. Stamp. Sejun stamped Kyungi's stamp card. Kyungi folded the praise card neatly and put it back into his snack pouch with a satisfied expression. Once all the food for Aileen, the 4 leaders, Ophelia, and the dishes for Dragon Market were completed. Pio. Good morning, Sejun Nim. Good morning. Piot and Yurin entered the kitchen. Welcome. When everyone sat down, Sejun placed grilled fish in front of Theo, stir-fried peanuts in front of Piot, and bowls of just milk in front of Kyungi, Blackie, and Yurin. Kyung. Kaying. Hug. The 3 were puzzled by Sejun's actions. Still, they trusted Sejun and waited a bit longer. Hehe, this is called Oreo. Sejun scooped Oreo into their bowls, filling them up. You mix it with milk and eat it with a spoon. When Sejun demonstrated, the others cautiously picked up their spoons, mixed the Oreo with milk and tasted it. Kyung. It's delicious, so sweet. Kilahit Kaying Kaying. Hee, it's delicious. I need to get more cores. It's really tasty. The 3 ate quickly with big smiles on their faces. Meanwhile, as the Oreo powder spread, the milk gradually turned black. Slurp. Kyungi and Yurin, who ate quickly, started drinking the slightly darkened milk. Hehe, they don't know. Sejun, watching them with a smug expression, poured more Oreo powder into the remaining milk. It's so delicious when you keep adding Oreo until the milk turns into chocolate milk. Kaying. Give me more too. All right, here Blackie, I'll pour more for you too. Kahili Kaying Kaying. Hee, I'm happy there's more. As the milk in Sejun and Blackie's bowls, which they hadn't drunk, gradually darkened and turned into chocolate milk. Kyung. Why is Dad's and Blackie's milk black? Yeah, how did you do that? Only then did Kyungi and Yurin listen to Sejun's explanation and add more Oreo powder to their remaining milk to make chocolate milk. A moment later. Pew Hut, Chairman Park, I'm off now, meow. After finishing breakfast, Thea prepared to leave for the first floor of the Green Tower. Okay, we'll go down to the first floor of the tower after lunch, so come back early today. Sejun planned to restore the shop on the first floor of the tower to normal this afternoon, and then head to Earth. Got it, meow. Theo responded energetically and left for the Green Tower. You guys go tell Black Rabbit to come up right away and bring some skeletons from the 4th floor of the tower. Sejun sent Piot and Yurin on errands. After everyone went off to do their tasks. Kyung. What about Kyungi? What should Kyungi do? Kyungi, who was left alone, asked Sejun. Kyungi, go take a bath and wash Blackie too. Kaying. Why me? Kyung. Got it. Kaying. Save me. With that, Kyungi took Blackie to the bathroom. I should transfer the Samyangju. Sejun headed to the brewery. Today was the day to open the jars containing the golden Samyangju. Glug glug. Sejun carefully poured the golden Samyangju from the jar into the bottles. One jar could fill 100 bottles. And Sejun had a total of 10 jars of golden Samyangju. It's done. Once Sejun finished transferring, he had completed 1,000 bottles of golden samyangju, each radiating a brilliant golden light. With 9 servings per bottle, a total of 9,000 dragons could have a cup each. First, I'll give 4 bottles to the dragon leaders. To avoid conflicts, Sejun chose to give each of the 4 dragons 1 bottle to maintain peace. With 996 bottles remaining. Haha, I can get 24 bottles of the growth elixir. Aileen, please sell these. The tower administrator says you can trust her with this. Of course, I always trust you, Aileen. Sejun replied, and then had a simple lunch with Kyungi and Blackie, who had finished their bath, before heading to the fountain to meet the dragons. And then, welcome Sejun. Please have 1 bottle each. Sejun handed the golden samyangju to the dragons, who welcomed him warmly. Kwahaha, giving us each a bottle of golden samyangju, our Sejun is indeed generous. Yuahaha, that's right, it's our Sejun after all. Pfhahaha, indeed, our Sejun is a big-hearted man. Dirahaha, our Sejun truly has an excellent inner beauty. Tirnim, are you picking a fight? While Sejun was contemplating whether to snatch Tir's golden samyangju. Kwahaha, Sejun, take this to your parents. Kaiser took out a small box. Click. When Sejun opened the box he received. Oh! There was a black diamond the size of a fist. Kaiser thought Sejun's parents, who had raised him with great effort, were definitely weaker than Sejun. Therefore, he believed giving them wealth rather than good items was safer. Sejun, I also prepared a gift. I, too, prepared a gift for our Sejun's parents. Sejun, I've prepared one too. The other dragons handed boxes of jewels to Sejun. Inside were transparent diamonds, red diamonds, and purple diamonds, each similar in size to the one Kaiser had given. I was a bit nervous, but they gave such normal gifts. Thank you. Sejun packed the boxes, thanked the dragons, and came down from the fountain. At that moment, Puhu Hut, Chairman Parkai, Vice Chairman Theo, and Back Meow. Theo, who had sold all the crops at the Green Tower, returned. Good job. As Sejun petted Theo, who was clinging to his leg. Pipayak. Uncle, I'm here. The final member going to Earth with them, Black Rabbit, arrived. All right, everyone, gather around. Sejun called his companion to go down to the first floor of the Black Tower. Chapter 428, Vice Chairman Theo, take care of it. Chairman Park, see you in a bit, meow. As Black Rabbit, Kyungi, and Blackie entered the void storage, Theo looked at Sejun with a longing gaze from the storage door. Why are you being so wistful? We'll see each other again in less than a minute. All right, see you in a bit. Clunk. Sejun slowly closed the door, maintaining eye contact with Theo until the last moment. Then he took out a bracelet made of green vines from his pocket and put it on. At that moment, you have put on the grapevine bracelet of sealing on the target. How much of the power would you like to seal? A message appeared. No one's around, right? Sejun checked his surroundings before answering. If he sealed his power and someone was nearby, his weakened body might not withstand it and he could faint. Good, no one's here. Seal it to the maximum. Upon confirming that no one was around, Sejun spoke. Sealing 99% of power. Total of 11,583 stats will be sealed. As his power was sealed, Sejun's body staggered under the immense sense of depletion. His total stats had dropped from 11,700 to 117. The gap was too enormous. Phew. Sejun took a deep breath to adapt to his body's condition. Pretending to be a hidden powerhouse is going to be difficult. He was disappointed as he checked his stats. Even after sealing his power to the maximum, his total stats were 117. To have such stats, one would need to be at least level 30 as a hunter. It was tough to stay hidden. Such a pity. Sejun, regretfully, removed the equipment that he could no longer use due to the stat reduction. After putting the equipment into the space expansion pouch. Russell. Sejun then spread out the land deed of the Black Tower that he had prepared. The summoning function is activated for the initial engraving of the land deed for the Black Tower's first floor. Finally, along with the message, Sejun vanished from the 99th floor of the Black Tower. Black Tower first floor. The Black Tower you used to enter has been destroyed. The exit has disappeared, you cannot leave. What? The tower has vanished, what do you mean? How can the tower be gone when Korea has a safe zone? Hunters who couldn't exit through the entrance were bewildered by the message. Among them were foreign hunters who relied on the safe zones in Korea. What should we do? Even the Brazilian hunters couldn't leave until a new tower appeared in Korea. Will a new tower appear? The rate at which new towers are appearing has slowed down lately. Then we don't know when we'll be able to leave. As hunters were falling into panic. Hello, we are staff from the Korean Awakeners Association. For now, please rest at the accommodations we've prepared, and we will explain what we have found. Staff from the Korean Awakeners Association stepped in to calm them down and guided them away. As dozens of hunters followed the staff and left. Come and choose. Our shop has the lowest prices. Selling Heart of the Venomous Spider. The large open area near the exit where hunters had gathered became lively with the shouts of street vendors. At that moment, you have arrived on the first floor of the Black Tower. You have moved from the 99th floor, the highest floor, to the first floor. You have descended 98 floors. Due to the effect of tidal, retrogressor, all stats increase by 98. On the 409th day of entering the tower, Sejun quietly arrived at a corner of the large open area on the first floor of the Black Tower. The grapevine bracelet of sealing seals 99% of your power. His total stats nearly increased by 400, but fortunately, with the power sealed by 99%, his total stats increased by 4. Finally, I'm here on the first floor of the tower. Hesitantly. While Sejun was chuckling. Clunk. Chairman Park, I missed you, meow. Thea slightly opened the void storage slightly door to prevent the energy from escaping and dashed out. Kaying. Catch me. Blackie followed closely, launching himself into the air. Grab. Catch. Sejun caught the flying Blackie and placed him in the sling bag, while Theo clung to Sejun's face on his own. Meow. Sejun grabbed Theo by the nape and placed him on his knee. Kyungi, are you okay? He asked Kyungi, who was visible through the small gap in the partially opened void storage door. Due to Kyungi's difficulty in controlling his strength, he had decided to stay in the void storage until they returned to Earth. Sejun had arranged for Black Rabbit to keep him company so he wouldn't get bored. Kyung. Kyungi is fine. Eating carrots with Big Brother is fun. Sitting on the floor, Kyungi answered quietly while munching on carrots with Black Rabbit. Speaking loudly might unintentionally draw out his energy. I'm sorry. Sejun felt a pang of guilt as he watched Kyungi trying to reassure him by enjoying his carrots more deliberately. But for now, there was no other option. Eat other things while you play too, okay? Kyung. Got it. Peep. Uncle, leave Kyungi to me. I'll make sure he has lots of fun. All right. Clunk. After finishing the conversation with the two, Sejun closed the small gap in the door and looked around. Finally, I get to see this. Sejun surveyed the first floor of the tower with an expression full of emotion. Chandelier's lights illuminated the surroundings. The floor was paved with white marble, and the wide plaza was lined with shops selling equipment and potions, as well as training centers for warriors and mages to learn skills. Cheap, it's cheap. Come and take a look, just browsing is fine. But I've never heard about there being street vendors. As Sejun looked curiously at the bustling street vendors. Sejun, it's you Park Sejun, right? One of the hunters, who had laid out a stall on the ground, waved at Sejun. Hack, how dare you call our Chairman Park by his name so casually? Theo, incensed at someone casually calling Sejun's name, was about to burst into rage. Vice Chairman Theo calmed down. Sejun quickly stopped Theo. Got it, meow, I'll stay calm, meow. With Theo quieted down. Who is that? Sejun cautiously approached the man wearing leather armor with a bow slung over his shoulder and a long scar on his face. Oh. As he looked closer, he realized the man looked very familiar. Are you Kyung-chul? Oh, Kyung-chul from C Electronics. Yeah, it's me. My face has changed a lot, hasn't it? Kyung-chul, Sejun's old colleague, scratched his head and spoke in a slightly dark tone. How have you been? Yeah, I've been fine, but what about you? You disappeared from the company and look like you've only been getting skin treatments. Why does your face look so good? Haha, really? Sejun couldn't help but smile broadly at Kyung-chul's comment. After being told that his face looked rotten all the time, hearing that it looked good made him happy. But Sejun, how did you buy the ticket? Did you scrape together everything you had like I did? Yeah, I did the same. It was too complicated to explain his situation, so Sejun unconsciously agreed with Kyung-chul. But did you just awaken today? Kyung-chul asked, seeing Sejun without any weapons or armor. Having sealed his power and removed his equipment due to usage restrictions, Sejun appeared to Kyung-chul as a newly entered rookie hunter. That's great. I'm level 25, so I'll take you up to the 7th floor. Before Sejun could respond, Kyung-chul offered to help him level up. You'll help me level up? You? Sejun was taken aback by Kyung-chul's words. I still have quite stats, don't I look strong? Sejun often forgot that his energy was well hidden due to his talent, insignificant presence, especially while being around powerful beings. Just then, excuse me. A hunter approached Kyung-chul's stall and called out to him. Sejun, I need to sell some items, so let's meet back here in 3 hours. Okay. As Kyung-chul returned to his stall to sell his items, Sejun decided to clear up Kyung-chul's misunderstanding later. Why isn't the land deed quest triggering? Hopping for a quest to appear, Sejun wandered around the first floor of the tower. The first places he visited were the Warrior Training Center and the Mage Training Center where one could learn skills, but you cannot learn skills as your job does not match. He was rejected. Next, he visited the potion shop. Lowest grade healing potion, 1 tower coin. Instantly recovers 5% of stamina upon consumption and slowly recovers 5% of stamina over 10 minutes. Lowest grade magic potion, 1 tower coin. Instantly recovers 3% of magic power upon consumption and slowly recovers 3% of stamina over 10 minutes. The effects are too poor. Having his own mugwort juice of life, Sejun had no interest in buying them. Next, he checked out the equipment shop, but it only had gear for beginners, so there wasn't much to see. After finishing his tour of the first floor facilities, Sejun checked out the street vendors. Most items were E or D grade, not particularly useful for Sejun, but occasionally he found some promising unidentified items. Oh, an unidentified item. When he found an item with a good feeling about it. How much is this? It's an unidentified item, but since it's a D+ grade sword, it's 5 tower coins. Come on, give me a discount. Then 4.5. Come on, lower it a bit more. He haggled to lower the price before buying it. Though the price wasn't high, he just wanted to buy it right away, but to see Chairman Park haggle 3 times in person, what an honor, meow. With Theo watching with sparkling eyes, he couldn't just buy it without haggling. Aileen, could you appraise this for me? The unidentified item he bought after haggling 3 times was then appraised by Aileen. The tower administrator says it's an ordinary sword imbued with ice magic. After the appraisal, Aileen returned the item to Sejun. Oh, it's a B-grade item. Sejun smiled as he received the item. The D+ grade sword had turned into a B grade sword after the appraisal. Hehe, it feels like treasure hunting. As Sejun continued to treasure hunt for unidentified items at the street vendors. Oh, this one would be perfect for Kyung-chul. A quite decent bow caught Sejun's eye. Longbow of infinite arrows. As the name suggests, it wasn't truly infinite, but it was a B-grade item where arrows would automatically appear on the bowstring when drawn, up to 1,000 arrows. How much is this? 1,000 tower coins. Perhaps because it was already appraised and of high grade, it was expensive for an item sold at a street stall. Of course, it was a cheap price for Sejun, but Pew Hut, watching Chairman Park's 3-time haggling technique is always an honor, meow. Don't you ever get tired? Give me a discount. Because of Theo's expectant eyes, Sejun haggled 3 times again before buying the bow. Now the timing is just right to go meet Kyung-chul. Sejun, with the newly purchased bow, headed to where Kyung-chul was. Bang! A commotion broke out in front of him. What's going on? As Sejun pushed his way through the hunters blocking his path. If you want to do business here, you have to pay a spot fee to our Black Bear Gang. The heavily armed members of the Black Bear Gang were threatening a hunter who was running a street stall without their permission. Sejun wasn't aware, but in order to do business here, one had to pay a spot fee to the Black Bear Gang. Who are these guys? What floor are they from to be causing trouble here? As Sejun was looking at the Black Bears. Thud, thud. You seem to buy a lot of stuff, must be rich, huh? How about sharing some of that? One of the Black Bears members came up to Sejun and extended his paw. Then, a quest has been triggered. Quest, either deal with or negotiate with the Black Bear Gang, who are illegally occupying the market and collecting spot fees to reclaim the land rights. Reward, recognition as the rightful owner of the market on the first floor of the Black Tower. Haha, a quest has appeared. Vice Chairman Theo, take care of it. Pew Hut, got it, meow. Sejun, looking at the land deed quest, spoke to Theo. Theo, laughing wickedly enough to be mistaken for a villain, disappeared from Sejun's knee. The market, along with the slaves who would manage it, came as a complete package. Chapter 429, I love you, Sejun. Great Black Dragon, I'm sorry, please forgive us just this once. Pew Hut, not a chance, meow. You guys are now Chairman Park's slaves, meow. What on earth is happening? Kyung-chul was bewildered as he saw dozens of black bears kneeling before Sejun, with a yellow cat scolding them. A moment ago, Kyung-chul was waiting for Sejun after selling all his goods and organizing his stall. There was a commotion caused by the Black Bear Gang, but he didn't pay attention, fearing he might get entangled with them. However, even after waiting for over 30 minutes, Sejun did not show up. Could it be that Sejun got into trouble with the Black Bear Gang? With a worried heart, he headed towards the place where the Black Bear Gang was gathered. And there, Kyung-chul witnessed an unbelievable scene. Who were those black bears? They were the Black Bear tribe that ruled the 64th floor of the tower, a group so powerful that even the Phoenix Guild, the strongest force on Earth, pretended not to see their atrocities. But my colleague Sejun made those black bears kneel. Until now, Kyung-chul had thought that the Park Sejun, who was the strongest on Earth and had saved the world by cultivating crops, was just someone who happened to have the same name as his company colleague Park Sejun. The colleague who worked at the same company, ate together, and drank coffee together couldn't possibly be that Park Sejun. So he also assumed that the cat hanging on Sejun's leg was just a doll of the Wandering Merchant Theo. Wandering Merchant Theo's doll, along with Peacebees, was currently one of the most popular characters on Earth, and he himself owned a Theo doll, although he was too embarrassed to hang it on his leg. But then, stamp it, meow. Anyone who doesn't will get another hit from me, Vice Chairman Theo, meow. The Theo hanging on his colleague Sejun's leg was not a doll. It was talking and even getting paw prints on a contract from the Black Bears. Is my colleague Park Sejun really that Park Sejun? Oh my God! Realizing that his colleague Sejun was the strongest person on earth, Park Sejun, Kyung-chul got goosebumps all over his body. His heart swelled with pride. I'm colleagues with Park Sejun. Just this fact alone would easily get him 1 million likes on Stargram. While Kyung-chul was excited about getting likes on Stargram, Kyung-chul, Sejun called out to Kyung-chul, the strongest person on earth, who made the Black Bear Gang kneel, and his colleague called out to him in front of other hunters. I love you, Sejun. Why yes, Sejun. Is it okay for me to call him like this? As Kyung-chul hesitated to answer. Take this. Sejun approached Kyung-chul and handed him the longbow of infinite arrows he had just purchased. This is the longbow of infinite arrows. Kyung-chul recognized the bow immediately. Its market price was 1,000 tower coins, an item he couldn't even dream of, having barely paid off half the loan he took to buy a ticket. Take these too. Sejun also gave Kyung-chul the items that had been appraised by Aileen while making rounds at the street stalls. Sejun, why are you giving me these? It's payment for the apples. The apples? Kyung-chul seemed to have forgotten about the apples he gave to Sejun, but it didn't matter. Whether the other person intended it or not, I was greatly indebted thanks to him. Yeah, thanks to the apples you gave me, I got a great family member. Because I met Flamey. So expressing my gratitude meant that I cherished Flamey that much. I don't remember, but I'm glad it helped you. Still, taking all of this is. As Kyung-chul tried to refuse the items other than the bow. Sejun Nim. From afar, Han Tae-jun and Kim Dong-sik came running, calling out to Sejun. Theo Park appeared on the first floor of the tower. Wow, he's really cute, come quickly. Hunters who recognized Theo during the clash with the Black Bear Gang took pictures with their hunter phones and shared them with other hunters, spreading the news. This information also reached Kim Dong-sik, who was moving to explain the current situation to the hunters trapped in the tower with Han Tae-jun. And then, Master, it's Sejun Nim. Seeing Sejun next to Theo, Han Tae-jun and Kim Dong-sik hurried over. Had they been even 10 minutes later, hunters from other countries might have contacted Sejun first. Meow, Han Tae-jun, Kim Dong-sik, nice to see you, meow. Theo greeted them happily, raising his front paws as Han Tae-jun and Kim Dong-sik approached. Hello. Sejun also greeted them awkwardly. To think he was greeting Han Tae-jun, Korea's strongest hunter. Although he greeted much more formidable dragons every day, greeting Han Tae-jun made Sejun more nervous. Sejun Nim will escort you, let's go. Okay. They intended to guide Sejun to the Korean Awakeners Association branch on the first floor of the tower. All right, Kyung-chul, I'll go for leveling up with you later. I'm dying of embarrassment. I actually told Sejun I'd help him level up. Kyung-chul recalled their conversation from a few hours ago, replying in a flustered voice. But, wow, Park Sejun said he'd help him level up later. I'm so jealous. The people around didn't think Kyung-chul was the one helping with leveling up and chatted excitedly, making Kyung-chul even more embarrassed, unable to lift his head. Click. Han Tae-jun entered his room in the Korean Awakeners Association branch and greetings to the Earth Defense Force Commander and Deputy Commander. I am codenamed Captain K. He suddenly saluted Sejun with military precision. I am codenamed K6. Kim Dong-sik followed Han Tae-jun's lead, saluting Sejun as well. Pew Hu Hut, great job, everyone has worked hard, meow. I am the Earth Defense Force Deputy Commander codenamed Yellow, meow. No, I'll change it to Gold, meow. Theo accepted their salute, but they didn't lower their hands, waiting for Sejun, their superior, to accept it. That's right, I am the Earth Defense Force Commander. I am codenamed Black Dragon. Sejun accepted their salute, making up a codename on the spot. No, meow, it's Great Black Dragon, meow. Don't leave out the great, meow. All right, Great Black Dragon, satisfied. Pew Hu Hut, that's right, meow. Chairman Park is the Great Black Dragon, meow. After finishing their code names introductions. Then, I'll brief you on the Earth's current situation. Kim Dong-sik stood up and explained the current state of the Earth. A short while later. What flesh eaters? Sejun was shocked by Kim Dong-sik's explanation. Sejun had thought that locusts were extinct and leeches were almost dealt with due to the vitality-infused fragrant grapes. The news that the entire state of Texas in the U.S. had been taken over by monsters called flesh eaters was startling. The flesh eaters first appeared in the Black Tower, and we suspect Michael McLaren, the chairman of the Global Food Corporation Gagel, to be behind it. Michael is currently. Hut, don't worry, meow. Now that Chairman Park is here, it's all over, meow. Yeah, don't worry. Sejun also spoke confidently, sure that his strength would be effective on Earth. I'll take care of the monsters in America, too. I've never been to the U.S. before, so I should do some sightseeing while I'm there. Sejun, excited at the thought of touring America. So, are you heading out immediately? No, I need to train the black bears and stabilize the market before I go. Sejun followed Han Tae-jun, putting the black bears into his void storage. Kyungi would be bored, so he left the bears for Kyungi to train. And since Earth couldn't be integrated into the 0th floor of the Black Tower until tomorrow morning, he couldn't leave even if he wanted to. He had tried briefly to exit through the official tower exit earlier. Black Tower farmer cannot leave the tower. He couldn't leave. Hunternim, did your exit disappear by any chance? What? As a result, he was misunderstood by a staff of the Korean Awakeners Association. Then we will go ahead and prepare the private jet for your trip to America and contact Sejun-nim's family in advance. Yes, thank you. Ending the conversation that way, Sejun left the Korean Awakeners Association branch. Clank. Sejun cautiously opened the void storage slightly. Kyungi, have you finished the training? He asked, peering inside. Kyung. Yes, that's right, correct. When Kyungi, holding a club, looked at the black bears. Yes, we have become completely good. We are very good black bears now. We have decided to become the Kyung gang that does not do bad things anymore. Kyung gang. Kyungi, I told you to train them, not form a gang. As Sejun looked at him with worried eyes. Kyung. That's right, our Kyung gang does not do bad things. If anyone does bad things, this is what happens. Kyungi made a motion of hitting with the club, causing the black bears to tremble. Scary. Even Sejun shivered. He didn't think they would harbor any ill intentions. All right, follow me. Yes. Sejun led the reformed Kyung gang's black bears to organize the market. Land moving. Sejun created stalls on half of the market area where they could do business, leaving the other half for hunters to trade as usual. Hut, for now, if anyone attack you, get their stamp, meow. Yes, get the seal stamp if they attack. Meanwhile, Theo was educating the black bears on how to handle anyone who disrupted business or caused trouble. Just then, clatter, 1,000 skeleton mages from the 4th floor of the tower arrived. Now, here you will appraise the items brought by the hunters and sell them at reasonable prices. Sejun deployed them to the stalls. With this, a 24/7 shop specializing in buying hunter items was established on the 1st floor of the Black Tower. Initially, hunters would sell directly, but eventually they would realize that selling here at a fair price and going hunting was more profitable. As the market's business preparations were completed, the surroundings darkened. Sejun had a simple dinner, then went into the void storage to sleep with Theo, Black Rabbit, Kyungi, Peacebees, and Blackie. The next morning, clank. Sejun woke up, left the void storage, quickly washed up, and was inspecting the market when the tower administrator says that Earth's integration into the 0th floor of the Black Tower is complete. Really? So where's the exclusive passage? The tower administrator says to head straight north from where you are. Got it. Following Aileen's words, Sejun moved north and saw a black hole in the ground. So this is the exclusive passage. All right, let's go. As Sejun reached out towards the black hole. Currently, 6 people are attempting to use the exclusive passage. You wish to pay the stay fee for 6 and move to the 0th floor of the Black Tower. A message appeared. Yes. When Sejun answered, the calculation for the stay fee began. Calculating the stay fee, considering Theo Park's stats and class. The stay fee is 400 billion tower coins per hour. Calculating the stay fee, considering Black Rabbit's stats and class. The stay fee is 300 billion tower coins per hour. Calculating the stay fee, considering Kyungi Park's stats and class. The stay fee is 500 billion tower coins per hour. Calculating the stay fee, considering Peaceby's Park's stats and class. The stay fee is 300 billion tower coins per hour. It was expensive, but within the expected range. And now the only ones left were the weakest, Sejun and Blackie. In other words, the 2 who would cost the least. However, calculating the stay fee, considering Park Sejun's stats and class. The stay fee is 100 billion tower coins per hour. Power, sturdy young dragon's solid bones confirmed. An additional 1 trillion tower coins per hour will be added to the stay fee. What? Hey! The price suddenly skyrocketed from an unexpected factor. Still, if he sold all the jewels he had, he could probably manage to stay for 10 days. While Sejun held onto a thread of hope. Calculating the stay fee, considering Blackie Park's stats and class. Blackie's stay fee, the last in order, was calculated. The stay fee is 100 million tower coins per hour. As expected, it's the lowest. Our cute Blackie. As Sejun was pleased looking at Blackie, who cost the least. Bloodline, Noble Wolf confirmed. An additional 1 quadrillion tower coins per hour will be added to the stay fee. Power, Noble Wolf Spirit confirmed. An additional 500 trillion tower coins per hour will be added to the stay fee. Power, Born Hunter confirmed. An additional 100 trillion tower coins per hour will be added to the stay fee. Power, Faster Than Light confirmed. An additional 900 trillion tower coins per hour will be added to the stay fee. The messages kept appearing endlessly. What the? As Sejun screamed in frustration. Kaying. This is how great I am. This is the power of me, the great Blackie. Blackie was proudly showing off, completely oblivious to Sejun's feelings. Chapter 430, Isn't Our Blackie Still Weak? Blackie, weren't you just a mixed breed dog? Kakilahit Kaying. Explain my greatness more. Seeing Blackie yelling at the message, Sejun felt a deep sense of betrayal. I thought you were a dumb dog and a weak sunfish, but you turned out to be a noble wolf with numerous amazing powers. This is dangerous. His position, barely escaping being the weakest on the 99th floor of the Black Tower, was now under threat. I'm second from the bottom. Having Blackie below him had been Sejun's great joy, but now even Blackie was stepping on him to rise higher. As Sejun was lamenting this, currently you have 5 trillion tower coins. You are significantly short of money. Of course, it's not enough. Should I leave Blackie behind? I wanted to go together, but since I don't have the money, there's no choice. Blackie, I'm sorry, but I have to go. As Sejun was thinking of leaving Blackie on the 1st floor of the tower, converting the treasures in void storage into cash. What? What are you selling, even if you sell them? You have acquired 27 quadrillion 300 million tower coins. Oh? It seemed that the treasures of Blackster were worth more than he thought. Taking out 300 million tower coins in cash from Theo Park's bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers. Converting the treasures in Theo Park's bag of the legendary merchant wandering the 9 towers into cash. You have acquired 3 quadrillion. What was in Theo's bag? As Sejun was curious. taking out 3,000 tower coins in cash from Kyungi Park's pocket money pouch. Hey, you can't touch Kyungi's pocket money. Our Kyungi worked so hard to fill his stamp card with stamps, I'll have to sneak the money back later. When all the money from the group was gathered. Currently, you have 30 quadrillion 5,300,000,000 3,000 tower coins. An unimaginable amount of money had been amassed. However, using 30 quadrillion of your money to stay on Earth for 3 hours. The time he could stay with that money was just 3 hours. What? Not 3 days, but 3 hours. There are so many things to do. I have to go to America, go to the amusement park with the kids, eat mom's home-cooked meals while catching up on dramas. Moving to Earth. Before he could protest, Sejun's vision turned black as he moved to Earth. 9 black towers were creating safe zones in Korea. However, with Michael destroying Korea's black towers, only 3 remained, located in Gangnam and Hanam-dong. Kekek, if I destroy just one more, the safe zone will disappear. As Michael approached the black tower in Gangnam with a sinister smile. But he stumbled. Michael tripped over a tree root. Ah, so annoying. What kind of trees are they growing near the towers in Seoul to have so many roots? Michael grumbled as he approached the black tower again. What should I do? Should I intervene? Watching this, Flamey was stamping its roots anxiously. If she intervened, the surrounding area, at least Gangnam, would disappear. So she was watching and trying to obstruct Michael with roots. But as Michael tried to destroy the last remaining safe zone, Flamey had to make a decision. If the safe zone disappeared, Sejun couldn't come to Earth. Sejun Nim, please come quickly. While Flamey was nervously preparing to unleash her roots, hoping she wouldn't have to intervene. Earth, I'm back. Sejun appeared in front of Michael, shouting triumphantly. Who the hell is this guy? Michael, seeing Sejun suddenly appear in front of him, reached out as if to swat away an annoying fly. He intended to eliminate Sejun as the quickest way to complete his task. Until now, he had avoided conspicuous actions to make things easier. However, I don't need to do that anymore. Now, he just needed to remove the obstacle in front of him and destroy one more black tower to eliminate the safe zones on Earth. Then it's over, don't be too sad, everyone else will follow soon. As Michael reached out to Sejun. You have arrived at the 0th floor of the black tower. In the safe zone, the aura emanating from your body will not harm the surroundings. Starting destruction detection. Destruction detection is complete. Multiple sources of power of destruction detected within a 500 km radius. A large amount of power of destruction detected 11,000 km east in Texas, USA. A quest has been generated. Quest, quickly eliminate all detected sources of power of destruction. If the current state continues, Earth will be destroyed in 38 days. Reward, delay of Earth's destruction. Sejun was diligently reading the messages. I need to eliminate the destruction, but I can only stay on Earth for 3 hours. If I finish quickly, maybe I can at least have a meal at home. Lost in thought, Sejun noticed Michael's hand approaching him only when it was just 10 cm away. He could feel immense power from the approaching fist. I should have taken off the bracelet as soon as I arrived. As Sejun regretted. Meow. Thwack. Theo blocked Michael's surprise attack. Pew hut. I am Theo Park, the loyal subordinate of Chairman Park with an impenetrable defense, meow. As long as I, Vice Chairman Theo, am here, you can't lay a finger on Chairman Park's rotten face, meow. Theo wore a triumphant expression. Killa hit Kang. Hey, were you trying to hit him? The noble wolf, the great Blackie, will teach you a lesson. Plop. Blackie also leaped bravely towards Michael. And then, thud, after lightly headbutting Michael's forehead. Coving. Blackie fainted and fell to the ground. The seal has been lifted. You can now use your abilities at 100%. Sunfish. Isn't our Blackie still weak? In the meantime, Sejun quickly caught the falling Blackie after removing the grapevine bracelet of sealing. Thwag thwag. Why did you mess with our Chairman Park, meow? I'll teach you a lesson, meow. Theo started to punish Michael. Why can't I use Fenrir's power? Unable to use the power of destruction, Michael wore an aggrieved expression as Theo beat him up. Your expression is suspicious, meow. Naturally, Theo, feeling displeased, intensified his punishment. And then, Kakilahit Kang. He did you see, the power of the great Blackie. Blackie had done the significant task of summoning the thought contained in the core fragment to his mental world and annihilating it. But, yes, our Blackie, be great at least in your dreams. No one acknowledged it. After a while, Chairman Park, I found something good, meow. Theo, who had picked up Fenrir's core fragment that had come out of Michael's body, brought it to Sejun. Fenrir's core fragment, 10%. A 10% fragment. Wow, I didn't know such a thing existed on Earth. This could have been disastrous. Vice Chairman Theo, you did a great job, well done. Sejun praised Theo while patting his head. Pew hut, I Vice Chairman Theo am always excellent and do well, meow. Theo, swelling with pride, was smug. Though it was annoying, Sejun decided to let it slide today. If the 10% Fenrir's core fragment from the fallen man in front of them had been misused, Earth would have been destroyed immediately. Aileen, purify this. Sejun called for Aileen to purify the core fragment, but there was no answer. Perhaps because Earth was temporarily incorporated to the Great Black Tower, it seemed he couldn't communicate with Aileen in the administrator's zone. Thus, Sejun kept the Fenrir's core fragment. Clang. Guys, come out. He opened the void storage and called Kyungi and the Black Rabbit. Kyueha Kyung. Hehe, can Kyungi see Kyungi's grandma now? Of course, let's go eat grandma's kimchi stew. Kyung. Sounds good. Pipayak. Is this Earth? Yeah, isn't it amazing? Pipayak. Yes. But it really got cleaned up. As he noticed the clean floor of the void storage, which had been thickly covered with jewels to convert to cash for staying costs, Sejun showed a regretful expression. At that moment, Sejun Nim, you're here. Han Tae-jun and Kim Dong-sik came running with two blonde men. They were CIA agents Robin and Peter, dispatched from the United States. Han Tae-jun had called them to coordinate the schedule for eliminating the flesh eaters in Texas, USA. Kim Dong-sik, this man attacked our Chairman Park, meow. Theo said, dragging the unconscious Michael by his arm to Dong-sik. What, this is Michael? This person was Michael. Yes, you're truly amazing. You already captured Michael. Pew hut, Kim Dong-sik, what did I say, meow? Didn't I say it would be over the moment Chairman Park stepped in, meow? Didn't I, meow? Chairman Park is great, meow. While Theo excitedly praised Sejun. Sejun Nim, hello, I'm CIA Agent Robin. Hello, I'm CIA Agent Peter. Peter and Robin approached Sejun and greeted him in English. Yes, nice to meet you. Oh, it works. Although he couldn't speak English, Sejun could understand it thanks to his talent, friend of nature. So, the U.S. military is planning to launch a nuke in Texas to deal with the flesh eaters. Sejun, who understood the situation in America directly from them, without an interpreter. Yes, so please help us. There are still 200,000 people who haven't escaped from Texas, just like the last time with P. As Peter tried to mention what Peacebees had done in the past. Pip, this is my first time coming to Earth like this. I'll be found out at this rate. Afraid that his plagiarism of his brother's skills would be discovered, Peacebees hurriedly cut off Peter. And then, Pip, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt your conversation? But listening to it, Kyungi Hyung's Kyungi step punch could solve this problem. He subtly suggested a solution while diverting the conversation. Kyung. That's right, Kyungi will solve it with Kyungi's step punch. As Kyungi stepped forward, having heard Peacebees' words, Pip pip, now no one will know. Peacebees felt relieved. If Kyungi dealt with the flesh-eaters in Texas with his Kyungi step punch, even the traces of Peacebees' past actions would be cleanly erased. As Kyungi stepped forward, Peter and Robin were bewildered. What is that bear? At that moment, Kyungi, not that way, this way. Sejun, who could sense the location of the detected destruction, adjusted the direction of Kyungi's front paw. And then, Kyung, swish. Kyungi swung his front paw powerfully. Of course, nothing happened in front of them. Instead, like a butterfly effect, disaster struck in Texas, USA. U.S. Pentagon Operations Room. Secretary, we have 30 minutes left. Do we really have to nuke our own soil? What about the remaining people in Texas? We still haven't been able to rescue 200,000 people. At the report from his subordinate, the Secretary of Defense sighed deeply. He knew that his decision would cost 200,000 lives, but they couldn't wait any longer. It had to be done. As the Secretary of Defense was about to make his final decision, buzz, a call came in from his friend, the CIA director. Normally, he wouldn't take calls during an operation, but he answered, thinking it might be important. Hello. Park Sejun has just appeared in Korea. What? Park Sejun came out of the Black Tower. Is that true? Yes, our agents are on their way to persuade him. Provide them with the exact locations of the survivors. Understood. As the Secretary of Defense was about to call his subordinate. Secretary, look at this video. The satellite footage of the skis over Texas showed a massive bear paw shape cutting through the clouds. Moments later, the giant bear paw precisely struck the flesh-eaters, avoiding the areas where people were gathered. Then another bear paw descended, leaving 2 enormous bear paw prints in Texas, completely annihilating the flesh-eaters.